Futures relatively unchanged to kick things off on a Friday, coming off another steep sell-off into the close on Thursday yesterday that followed the highest inflation reading since the early 80s. Inflation rising more than 7% in January. We got that from the government yesterday. Immediately, we saw banks repricing and reforecasting their thoughts on how interest rates will be increased over the remainder of this year. CME data pointing to now an 89% chance of a 50 basis point move coming up in March. Markets didn't like that at the end of the day yesterday. Both Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, the first to come out with increased rate hikes and forecasts for the remainder of this year. Individually this morning, we're watching a firm, obviously, after that fiasco yesterday, releasing their earnings midday on Twitter. We'll talk about that coming up. Under Armour reporting not good for UAA, pretty active here in the pre-market. And to the upside, Zillow, which we thought was pretty much gone, but Zed back to the upside on a surprise beat for their latest quarterly results. It's Friday, February 11th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. A look at how things stand at this point. Yeah, pretty flat right now. We're actually off the lows quite substantially from early on this morning. All three U.S. markets basically little change so far. TSX futures here in Toronto to the downside ever so slightly. You can see crude with another nice bounce back to the upside, 1.6% so far. Brazil as well moving back to the upside. Little changed for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's Friday, so a bit of a quiet start here. Once we get through all the earnings reports, we get through some key data as far as economic data is concerned. We're looking at a bit of a quiet start to end the week. Good morning, guys. But individually, lots of things to talk about this morning. We have a firm back on watch, as we said. Astrospace, back to the downside, lower again in the pre-market here.
Yeah, welcome. It's Friday. Something's happening this weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And yesterday, you couldn't pack more action into a day than yesterday. CPI, market bounce, Fed, Uber, random halt, which actually didn't make any sense given what the news was released. Then you had a firm bungle. Then you had a firm actual results. Then you had a firm crater to 50. And then you had the Astra launch, which we were watching live. And to top it off, of course, the market moves in general. So it shapes up to probably be an interesting Friday as we're digesting some of that. Some stocks trying to make some bottoms here. That DCFC, by the way, I don't know. I was talking about a lot of other things except for this stock making a bit of a break. So that's back in play after yesterday's somewhat hiatus. There is a lot to look at. Should be really exciting. Definitely the end to this week. I feel like the market has to get some legs under it. You talked about pricing in like that 50-point hike. Now we're looking very likely. Well, how about 1.75 by the end of year is now a 70% chance. So close to 2% on the Fed funds rate by the end of year is now being priced in at better than 2/3 chance. So a lot happened in reaction to Bullard yesterday, despite the fact that CPI, we rallied off that number. If you look at it, it went to the downside, we rallied off it, and then it was Bullard's comments that really took everything by storm.
Yeah, yesterday, what a great day and what a great money. I mean, I'm not sure you're going to find, like Neil said, a better day to make money than yesterday. You had so many opportunities. We'll look to do the same thing again here today. Imbalances don't look too crazy, but we have AMD. We have the sticky note is going to be on fire once again. It's Friday. We'll bring the heat today. Don't worry about that. Should be a fun one. We'll look to buy everything today, I think. The market's just now turning green, so we're getting ready to rock and roll with that one. AMD is going to be on watch. AMC is going to be on watch. What up to everybody? What up to Brian James? What up to Emily? What up to Rolling Records? Everybody there, thank you for coming back once again. The best show on YouTube is about to start off right now, so let's give it to him, Brendan.
Let's jump right into things, guys. Lots to get through here in the pre-market as we take you through to the open this morning. Just watching Cavill Brands as well, just a heads up. KAVL, recent high flyer, just popping up on volume. CTRM, Castor Maritime, a little shipping company as well, moving around here. But if you've been away, possibly this week, you missed a lot. Miss V going to be back with us next week off of vacation, so stick around for that. Let's jump right into what is going on in the pre-market here this morning. I was going to mention this Zillow right out of the gate because we talked about this a lot going into the end of the year, out of the summer and into Q4 last year, all the trouble that Zillow was in. But out of nowhere, it seems here, guys, up sharply after surprise quarterly revenue of $3.8 billion. Sales of their homes were much higher than expected, and their digital number was much higher than expected. So pretty good look here for Zed. Just a heads up as well, there's Zed, there's also ZG, just two different classes of shares. Zillow, the Zed symbol, doing a lot more volume this morning.
Well, when your revenue beats by a number that ends in billion, you're probably going to be up on the day. But, you know, I'd say the move in Zillow looks good proportional to how far you zoom out in the chart, right? Like, you zoom right in, it's like, yeah, baby, this stock just gets off that 45 or through the 50 period. Huge move up 13%, looks fantastic. You zoom out, you say, oh yeah, well, it was 65 bucks to begin the year. You zoom a little bit further out, it was $100 in October, and then you go even further than that to note that the stock, even after this, is cut exactly, oh, almost exactly, 25% of its price from those highs back in Feb of last year. So look, it's a beat. The good thing about this, and a lot of names in general, is these beaten up names which have been falling and have been distressed and in trouble, a lot of them have made some interesting bottoms, right? So when you get these types of consolidations, they finally kind of find some support, and then you throw in earnings, you get that double, and then you get sort of like a repricing. Some of these can start to possibly work again because you know where the support has come in. Then they're reaffirmed by some numbers there that you can start to judge the stocks by. That's why waiting for this first round of earnings for just about everything has made a ton of sense because a lot of these names have established some levels, and then when you're able to zoom in and start to look at what's been going on, okay, but it's breaking out on the daily chart. That looks really good, breaking out this 52. It holds above that support, and then you could possibly trend up to 65. And sometimes you look at a chart like that, it's like, why would you ever buy anything? But things eventually do settle down. That's what we're trying to get here today. I don't think we're necessarily out of the woods yet, but what you actually got yesterday was a real acknowledgement by the markets at how fast the pacing could go, and we saw that reaction. So the types of bottoms that get put in next or get broken next are going to at least lead us to that next step. My concern would be, and I was talking about this with Brendan, and I know Arun mentioned it as well. If you look at the daily on the SPY, it does set up that if we have that lower high set in on the spiders on the S&P, then you could have another leg down, right? Like if we break that double top, great. But if we can't get through there, things aren't set up all that well in this sort of repricing of the market.
All right, Zillow, I just think you got to buy if it comes down anywhere down here. $51, $52, a good quarter, obviously, comes all the way to the upside. Still not great, but, they did revamp their business here. They had that big, huge hit where they're selling all the homes. I took a big hit on the books. Now you're breaking above the 50-period moving average. So we're just going to keep it as simple as possible. Yesterday, we were 8 for 8. Or 10 for 10, something like that. And we're just going to try to do the same thing here today again. We're not going to try to be perfect, but if it can come down and fill a level that we like, we'll just do that, right? So we're going to be as patient as we can once again today and just keep it going. Thanks again, Brian, James, thank you. Thank you to everybody for the kind words, and thank you for the support on the sticky note. You can find that at Trader TV. Sean, Zillow is on there, Brendo.
Twitter, guys, they mentioned this share repurchase program, if you remember back in their earnings report is what I'm trying to say. So they come out this morning and talk a little bit more about that. There's a few headlines discussing $2 billion or 37.8 million shares of common stock going to be delivered to dealers. So that's Goodyear Tire. Also, I was going to mention that, up 6%. But Twitter moving around here as well, looking pretty positive. But I mean, not a bad look here for a lot of these tech stocks.
Yeah, certainly. Actually, I'm going to get to answer somebody's question in the chat because I love when, look, really, everyone in this channel has different levels of experience, and sometimes we cover things more than once. But 8 o'clock, if you look at your charts, you're going to always see these types of things, volume spikes, big, massive move like this. So if you're looking at your chart and you see a huge volume spike or a massive candle at 8, a lot of overnight dark pools will consolidate those prints, and then they all fire them off and send them to the tape at 8. So they don't have to report them all live. And then a lot of them come right at 8 o'clock. Some come a little bit after that. You'll even see them throughout the day. But 8 a.m. is a massive dump of overnight dark pool printing. And that's why you see a lot of these weird spikes. And the easy way to tell, if you're looking at a level 2 when that happens, a lot of times it's really not a lot of price movement, but you're going to see that on almost every chart you look at. I can pull up AMD, I can pull up DCFC, which I was watching. They all had those spikes around that time, and that's all it is. Twitter, obviously, they glossed things over with their report with that buyback. It was a good fade trade. Although I got wicked out at the high, this was a level I was working off of right here. You can kind of see a head and shoulders form. When it broke, I didn't end up getting back into it, but it's established more or less the same range here at the top. 38 even to about 38.50, 38.60 is your little high that got put in and looks like resistance to me. I think support's down at 35, so we're obviously closer to playing off the top end of the range than we are the bottom. Probably needs to get through at least that 38.60 for it to be a true breakout, although it failed up to 39 previously. So I think it's got some room to go. Buybacks are great because of what they do for stock prices, but they can only do so much to sort of hide the problems that the business might be having in terms of growth. I think that was a little bit of the case there with Twitter. I think the market sort of saw through that one. And on top of that, of course, you had everything else that was going on in the market. If your numbers and fundamentals aren't good, well, you were getting beaten up. Everyone was getting beaten up yesterday, but more so if that was the case.
Yeah, you definitely want to be in names that have these buybacks. So I think it's good. They've initiated it now, so we'll see, accelerated it. So we'll see if they're going to take out this 39. That's the level that I'm looking at here to go long. If it takes out 39, we will go long. None of this like short and out stuff for me. I think these are good levels, but again, you could test if it goes. I hate trading Twitter here because honestly, it's very, very violent when it wants to go, and it's just the liquidity really, really dries up. So if I'm going to test a 39 long, I got to at least give it back to 37.50, 38, something like that, which means you at least need to get $1 out of this trade. So for me, it's going to have to go. Obviously, we started the show, the NASDAQ was negative. I said it looks like we're going to be, have a nice positive day. We have a lot of longs written down on our board, and I'm going to add Twitter. So if Twitter can break through 39, it's a long, and we'll just wait for that. I don't want to take it on the bottom here. Normally we'll do that. We'll take a trade right now. It's just, like I said, I don't really love Twitter, and where's my 1 minute chart? And it can really, really open up. So we'll wait for it. Again, if you were thinking about a long at this level because you really think the market's going to go in, Twitter's a name you're looking at, then yeah, take it off 37. You can get right now, you get the long. If it takes 37 out, then you just take that out. So I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I think we can probably go long right now on Twitter. So let's go long right now. We have a 37 bottom. We're able to hold it at least 30 cents. So let's take the long now. I know the market's moving up, but Twitter's not. So maybe it does pop a little bit off the open. This could start us off with a nice win here today. So let's take Twitter long right now at 35. That's what I'm going to do, and use 37 as the out.
It's Friday. Let's get a little bit technical, talk some charts. Michael Noss, chartered market technician with Trade Ideas, joining us as always on a Friday. Good to see you, Michael. Interesting week, obviously. Market's crazy with this inflation data. Overall, just before we jump into what you want to discuss here this morning, how have you been approaching this volatility from a technical aspect?
Well, when it comes to inflation, I think it's important to understand what it will affect and what it won't affect, right? So we've seen this for a long time with the growth names and the growth plays. The reason for that, without going, too deep into kind of macroeconomics and stuff, is that when inflation rears its head, investors want money now, right? So they want to buy things that are going to pay them now. They don't want money 5-10 years out. So these companies that are going to have good earnings potentially or make a lot of money many years from now, those things get hit really hard. So thankfully, the whole, relative strength kick I'm always on does a pretty good job of pointing me to that. So I look at things like financials, dividend paying stocks, things like that, because I think they're going to be more chased.
Yeah, it's an interesting time, different market than what we've seen over the past 6 months or so. Let's get technical, as I said. One of your favorite chart patterns here today.
Yeah, the hammer candle. It's one that, if you read any kind of trading textbook right off the bat, it's one of the first one that's shown. You can see it right here on the screen already, highlighted in that yellow box. I like to always talk about what the psychology is and what's actually happening behind a pattern, and not just, leave these mystical patterns as is, right? So a hammer candle is basically, for whatever time frame you're looking at, just shows you where sellers came in, they tried to knock the price down, and within that candle, whether it's a 1 minute, a daily, or a 5 minute, buyers came in and just reversed that right back up. So if you think of trading as kind of a war between buyers and sellers, this is a time that sellers thought they had the advantage for a second, and buyers just came in and ripped that back up. And quite often, which I'll show here in a second, that can be a turning point. So I'm going to talk about how I use this on both a swing trading and a day trading time frame. For me, I trade both. I'm more algorithmic in my day trading. I let robots do a lot of that, but we'll talk a little bit about that. So if we go into the next slide here, you can actually see some examples highlighted in red where you can combine this with other maybe overbought, oversold indicators. You can see on this RRX, when we hit this prior high, we put in reverse hammer candle, same thing, right? Sellers or buyers tried to make a new high. Sellers came in and sold that new high aggressively in the overbought condition. Next few days was a down move, right? Then we had two around the same levels of the inverse happening. Sellers came in, pushed the price down, that got reversed, and the next few days were up moves. So I'm going to go over a trade here on ELMS, on a day trade that I took myself, on how you can combine this daily pattern and intraday trading and try to make sure that you've got kind of a system here. As a systematic trader myself, that's what I like to look for. So this ELMS was just getting killed. Here you can see on the daily, down day after day after day after day, and then put this nice hammer candle right at the bottom of that move in place. And we always talk about how trading is fractal, right? Which means that if you see a pattern on one side, you see a pattern on the daily time frame, that means you can kind of guess what's happening on the intraday time frame. So just by looking at this ELMS, I know on the intraday time frame, at some point during the day, the sellers had this thing down pretty good, and then buyers came in to take that over and control. And this is the algorithm that I run. So if we go into the next chart, this is the same ELMS on a daily chart. So the purple vertical line just splits the 2 days. So on the left of that, you can see yesterday or the day prior that made the hammer, big sell off at the open, buyers came in the afternoon. Psychology wise, this kind of just means that that's the point where investors are saying, okay, this is probably cheap enough, at least for the next period of time. Let me start accumulating on this sell off, enough to reverse the selling that's happened there. So the next day we open up as we start to push through that high. That's where myself or the robot takes an entry, and you can see a nice little run that we got out of that now. So just to show that that's not a one-off example, on the next slide here, we actually have a backtesting result for kind of a raw version of this. So not super refined, but basically within trade ideas, I can just ask the system what if questions. So in this case, I said, what if we had a hammer candle yesterday and we start to break through the high of that day today and break some prior resistance area? And what happens if I buy it there and I hold it for the rest of the day, and it goes back 64 days and it says, this is what your P&L would have looked like if you had done that kind of completely automated without any sort of human intervention. And you can see it's pretty good, volatile, but that's the market that we're seeing here today. But as always, I want to give you guys a few examples. So I ran the same scan and I found a couple candles, a couple of hammer candles that you guys can look for. Again, see if the buyers are able to take out these prior highs, maybe look to get involved if that's something that meets your trading style. So the first one here is FLNG. I have my notes right here on this one. So this is a battery maker. So look for this for kind of EV plays and things like that. But again, beaten up pretty incredibly, put in that kind of hammer candle yesterday. The high of that's around 1675. So that's what I'm going to be watching on that one. Next one's Merck, just a nice drug company here. Same kind of thing, pull back over the last 4 or 5 days from like 80 something down to 76. I got 76, 75 over that. That's where I'm interested in this one. And last but not least is SGen. This is a biomaker. Anytime you see that yellow line on the Trade Ideas charts, that just means earnings was yesterday. Earnings was obviously reported badly, but you can see how when the sellers tried to push it under that 120 level, they failed. Buyers came in, closed right at the high of the day. That high is around 125, so I'm looking for the high of that as well.
Looks like we're gapping up a little bit on SGen as well this morning, but I love the concept of, removing all the noise, removing all the news in some cases, and just focusing on what our price is telling you, which is so important in a volatile market. Michael Noss, Chartered Market Technician with Trade Ideas. Thank you once again. We appreciate your time as always.
Anytime. Talk to you soon.
Great stuff. Yeah, interesting ideas there, guys. SGen, pretty positive so far this morning.
Yeah, like that's a pattern that a lot of traders, and I don't know anybody that doesn't look at it. And you remember, it works in both directions, right? Like it's actually one way that I look for those parabolic movers to try to make those crazy tops. I'm not saying this is going to happen like in Black Rifle at some point today, but a lot of times these like smaller flow, when they make those big strong moves to the upside, there's that one capitulation candle where the buyers are in control, they break the top, and and then essentially it slams back down, and you get that hammer in the other direction. And a lot of times that just means the longs are trapped. Some longs are trapped on that breakout trade, the same way some shorts are trapped at the bottom, some longs are trapped at the top. It's the same principle, and then that can allow a trend reversal to happen. And you'll see it. You can see that again on multiple time frames. The concept is always going to be the same, but that's why we love having Michael Noss there. So to bring some extra wisdom to the show and some things that we can definitely use on a daily basis. I sort of say this, I brought a Black Rifle, noticing that it is up again today. That de-SPAC'd yesterday, had a bit of action at the open. Looking at it break the high today, just on the radar. It hasn't done a ton of volume, but it's the kind of name that you could definitely see like it going on a squeeze or like a low flow pump.
I like that Black Rifle. We're already starting it off, guys. It's already a little bit of fruit salad here for us to start the day. I think we'll bring the fruit salad back. It's really nice to have that. And we're already going to go, uh-oh, it froze up. The fruit salad froze up. But we are already in this fruit salad. Nice blueberries today. I think the cantaloupe is actually pretty good in here today, so we have that going. And there it is already, so we'll fix the thing, but already we'd hit the bang. A nice little one-for-one trade here for you to start the day, as we have to now figure out what's going on because we don't even have the position board up anymore. So we'll get this going, but Twitter already 1-for-1 here to start the day. So shout out to everybody on the chat. Let's keep this party rolling. When we are ready to throw over to Brendan, we can, but yeah, let's go, Brendo.
All right, a few analyst moves to note this morning for you. Datadog, I was just looking at, really positive once again on a price target increase. There was a couple of them this morning. Yeah, Walmart on here, AstraZeneca, and finally, Block seemingly getting some upgrades. Firm, Kellogg's, Texas Instruments, and Glaxo over there, guys.
I mean, it's interesting that we don't usually see a Firm on there. Of course, we're going to talk about Block because that's actually on the watch list. Okay. I mean, the Firm's obviously to the downside. I mean, that's an easy one to pick. After earnings, you're going to get, I think it was like multiple days in a row we had Facebook as downgrades. You're going to get the same thing with the Firm. Texas Instruments was an interesting one on the downgrade side, but on the upgrades, Walmart, that's a name that we don't usually look at. But when I noticed on the list, the other thing I saw on the daily chart here was, like, just have a quick look at about 135 on Walmart. I know it's gotten below here, 134, 135 multiple times, but since last year, this has tested it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 times, bouncing back and forth off this level. And it's not giving you gigantic returns swing-wise, because, I mean, the highs are at 150, so you're getting 10%, and then you're having to hold it for a long time. However, as a potential day trade, if Walmart breaks down to 135, that kind of a support is where you'd say, okay, well, if there's any turn in and around 34 to 35, a nice consolidation worth picking up, right? So you see that on the higher time frame. You pop to your 15-minute to see what it kind of looks like, and it made that move, got about halfway to 135 there midday yesterday, and then made a nice little bounce. So Walmart, Yeah, on my radar. I probably wouldn't have noticed that except for the fact that it was on the upgrade and downgrade list. About $1.50 away from even that 135. But I like seeing something like that on a daily chart because it really just means there's buyers supporting that every single time it gets to that price. Maybe not the most exciting name in the world, but when it gets there, it's obviously giving out winners.
Yeah, we dumped Walmart in our personal account up here at 145. Just too many tops happening. But this looks like a good opportunity to buy it back. Although, you know, I don't want to just make that. I mean, it's an unmade $10. Like I sold it. Like if you sold it here, like I did, you could buy it back. But I don't really want to be into Walmart right now, so that's why I decided to sell it and raise some capital. So you're right at these tipping points. But look at this, man. Like it doesn't get any better than this. 135, 136. If you're out of Walmart and you want to get into a name in the retail side of things, I wouldn't choose Walmart personally. I like Gap. I like maybe even Macy's a little bit better than them. Maybe Nordstrom's, and I can explain why. But right now, Walmart, nicely done. It's right at these levels. It was upgrade, right? So that would make sense why it was upgraded today because it's right at these levels. So you know, we'll see if it works. To me, though, if you are long Walmart, I wouldn't hold this thing past 134. I smelled some trouble up here. Like, I feel like it should be working in this environment, and it's just, you know, inflation's here. We talked about that. Consumers maybe not buying as much right now as their spending power has gone down. So we'll wait to see, but 134 down there. I sold my Walmart here, 146. I went long at 100. I remember when it broke that level, so that was way back, so that was a good trade. But for right now, we're out of Walmart, and I don't even really want to look at it.
Saw Datadog we were talking about. Was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. Datadog with earnings. There were 5 different price target increases on this that caused a bit of a bump, up 1% here for D-Dog. It's worth noting as well, there's Bank of America we talked about in Citigroup on Square. NET, NET, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 price target increases as well for NET, another higher price stock, but moving around here in the pre-market. So Datadog off a good report yesterday. It ends up, you know, holding higher, 175 ends up being support here. But again, another couple of upgrades today.
Yeah, monster mover there. Like the last 2 days in the expensive big mover name have gone with Enphase and Twilio. But Datadog might have been, yesterday Datadog might have been the one that was the better trade or the better opportunity, just looking at this 185, 186. And that's, you know, that's the first thing that kind of stood out here. And then you see what happens. You know, you had, again, these silly little spikes here at 8 o'clock, but you had pre-market action failing at that price. Then we got back over to 185, you know, right at the height, like right at that top where everything was rolling over on the highs. And then you had Datadog, which was essentially at that point up $30 from its previous close, going right into this level. You know, right when the market was making that top coming off of CPI, you had this level being formed in Datadog. Now, it is what it is. At that particular time, Twilio was doing the same formation and ended up falling as well, but Datadog gave you this, and that's kind of what you want to look for. Like, it's that convergence of the futures are at a big resistance point. The stock is also at a big resistance point. Maybe it's extended really far. You had the market bouncing off of what was a bad economic number, so you could expect there could be profit takers. You add all those things up together, and you look for a trade like this. Now, obviously, we're still, you know, holding up relatively higher, and this might end up being a breakout at some point at 185. But until it does that, stock is already broken out from previous level, and it's tricky. You can always find day trades in here, but the next key level is going to be when it gets back to that 185, and that's what you want to be trading off of. So it was a good opportunity yesterday. There were several names that gave you basically the same look. You could pick or choose, but Datadog should be on the radar around that 185.
Okay, so I think we fixed the fruit salad mic, so let me know if that's any better. That was funny, whoever that was, Contago there. Contango.
Good
funny.
name.
Funny, yeah, good name, but it's with a 0 at the end. I guess it must be taken the other way. So, so hopefully we fix that. We were just talking about taking that little, you know, 30 cents or so there on Twitter and now holding half of that back. I haven't looked at Datadog yet at all today. One name that's not on our list that we had yesterday, and it was a good trade for us yesterday, is AMC, right? So Apes Unite on AMC again today. I don't know, I'm not hearing as much chatter. Let me know, Niagara Charlie, what you're hearing, but like $18 again. It's on the sticky note, so you got to go to @sticky-note here. Just push #sticky-note, #sticky-note in Twitter. It will come up, or @TraderTV Sean. But but yesterday we had this thing long at, yesterday we had this thing long down here at 1780, and it went to 21 bucks. So far so good on those kind of longs. I wrote down on the sticky note, let me double check. Yeah, I just wrote down the same thing as always. Will it hold 18? So let's see if AMC can hold that $18. It's right here yesterday, was the bottom yesterday, and then was a good level the day before. So that's back-to-back days that 18's held. You know, you really need retail and you really need a reason for this thing to go because no one else is really buying this. So we'll have to see if AMC goes again today. And yeah, when it does, it does. So we want to definitely be on this. We may take a 19 break as well. That's upcoming. We'll see if that can hit. But AMC today is something that we're really, really excited for. So, hey, man, keep all the love coming on the chat. Thank you for everything. And we will be looking at AMC. I do have a lower bid right now. So I do have a bid at 18.26. Let me know how the mic is right now as we go microphone check 1 2 1 2. The mic police are happy now, apparently. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Lucas.
Bring in Arun and get a check of the overall market here, understand a little bit better of what we need to know. It is, a flat start, Arun, but definitely more positive than an hour or so ago.
And it's not much of a surprise. I mean, look at where we're bouncing in. The level that we were talking about on the midday show when I was on was 4,500, right? And that move was great. When we got below 4,500, there was a short that was available. That was good. And that was good for 20 points towards the close, and then overnight as well for another 40 points. But then we bounced back, and it's still within the bounds that you still have to respect that little support level. Not little, it's fairly large actually, around 44.50. My support level that I've got is 43.95. So there's still quite a bit of a ways to go to the downside, but at the same time, once we broke 4,500, you have like this mid-level that you can potentially fade against, and that's what I'm looking at here. 45.35. Initially, I thought it was 45.25. I really looked into it. We're going to move that up to 45.35. So potential fades could be available in the next 10 to 15 points as long as we get a setup. And I think that's critical here with the market moving as much as it's moving. Because when I sat down, we were trading at 85. Here we are 20 points higher, still moving to the upside, right? So as long as it slows down a little bit, that we can actually find a short. There could be a little fade attempt here in the middle of this entire range. Of course, if you lose that, then you're stuck with the wide range, which is 46.20 up top, starting at 45.80 for potential shorts, and then down below, I'm looking at 44.35, going down to 43.95. So here we are, wide range, potential fade, and if we lose that, then we're back to range trading like the rest of the week, or the entire week has been pretty much within this range, and here we are potentially re-entering that range.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again on Monday. Arun going to be with us again for Market Movers at 11 o'clock with Trader Prad, guys. So stick around for that. Let's get into what else is moving around here in the pre-market. If you're looking for the link to the watch list, that is it. We'll have it for you in the chat. Absolutely free every single day before we come on at 8:30. Affirm, what a mess yesterday goes from, 82 to 52 here this morning. So it's been a long time since we've had something so strange happen midday there with the release on Twitter, and then they come out with the actual earnings, and it just completely falls apart, guys.
Yeah. First of all, what happened to Valeria? No, she's fine. She is back on Monday. So I can confirm that Ms. V will be back in the building on Monday. So we give a big shout out to Arun. There it is, Ms. V. We give a big shout out to Arun for his work over the last 2 weeks. And you'll be seeing him for the last time.
Well, not the last time.
Well, the last time today, and then he won't be back for a bit. And then it'll be Ms. V on the 1s and 2s on Monday with your boy, Trader Pratt. So that should be fun times there. And I'm glad everyone is really liking the midday show. I mean, that was something that, we wanted to bring to you guys, and you wanted us all day, but I'm pretty sure you're happy with Pratt. So that's good. Okay, let's go. Right here. So Affirm, look, I've never liked this company. I was calling it, like we said, I was calling this buy now, pay never back at 140 when this was dropping here. The only mistake I made was not shorting everything and dropping the house on this thing all the way to the downside. But it's been just a dumpster fire, and it's going to continue to be like that for a bit, right? It's just, will it finally catch? And some people were asking me, is it time for, what's up, Carlos? Is it time for this to bounce? Maybe, yeah. You've already been down here here back in May. It's not like this is a completely dead business. I mean, it's just, you have to wait to see where we go from here. I mean, they got that deal with Amazon. That's going to, eventually help them make some money, I think. And then we'll see from there where it goes. Obviously, they got hit on Peloton and things like that. Peloton being their number one business partner, I don't know if that's what they're called, revenue generator. So, they got hit on that news as well, and then just not executing well. We've seen PayPal, we've seen Affirm, and we've seen Square. So it's not like they're alone in any of their troubles. So forget about the numbers. I mean, to sit there and act like, I'm going to say, oh, they beat on EPS, therefore this. Like, give me a break. Like, that doesn't rarely ever work. We saw Disney had a monster day yesterday and tanked. So, to sit here and talk about firms' numbers and they should be good, they should be bad, who cares? I mean, I'm taking the Arun approach here when we look at stocks now, because honestly, you just got to short at key levels. And look at the daily, look at some key levels. For me, it's just yesterday. I think in between here, 57, 58, we're going to wait for a short. If we get it, we'll put some shares on, and then we'll see where we go. Could it bounce from here? Sure, it could. I mean, you're going to have, I don't know what the short interest is, but you're going to have a little bit of a short squeeze there. People holding shares overnight, thinking that they got, a possible bump down. We did touch that 50. That 50 is nothing. That's a fake print because, it's just in all this chaos. It's not like 50 held. It's just, that's just what happened down there. So I think the real bottom of this stock is right here at 52.50. So if you break down below 52.50, that's probably worth a shot. So I'll probably, that's only, actually it's 9:06 right now, so we're getting close. I think we'll go short 52.50, okay? But you can see it's SSR right now, so that means that yesterday we were down more than 10%. Today we're down 10%. So when it breaks through 52.50 like it looks like it wants to do, you're not going to be able to punch the short. You're going to have to wait for it. So get a little bit aggressive on your order. Hopefully it'll trail it down on any pop-up. You will get short. So I'm looking at a short at 52.50 right here. It's just I'd rather wait to see the market open up because I don't want to go short and then we spike up to my short areas on the sticky note and then I'll feel like, oh man, like, what have I done? Why didn't I wait? So we already have some offers out right now, 57.40. So mark that down, 57.40. We're waiting for a short right in here, and it's kind of a random price, but I'm looking at 60. If 60 breaks, then I can admit that we're probably wrong on the short. So, hey, if you don't give this name $3, then you're not going to be in it with me, but I'm going to give this $3 to the upside. So I don't even know if we get to $57, but we'll wait to see if we do.
It's almost like a coin flip at this point. Like the thing you need to remember about Affirm is a lot of the bump that it got from 50 to 80 was just sort of sympathy in that market move. It's like wait for earnings on anything that doesn't make money yet because then the truth will come out. It's like that's why you probably saw people running away from it. Now let's forget about all the nonsense with the release. It's all irrelevant. It's a gong show, but that doesn't matter anymore. You have a double bottom here on the daily chart below 50. At 48. 50 was just where liquidity came in on the vacuum. So it's valid until it breaks because it's an obvious level. And clearly I'm going to be looking at that level. I can't see any way that I'm not going to be playing off the 50 level just because of what happened in yesterday's action. The reason to look at 57.5, I think probably why Sean is looking at it on the 15-minute here. You did have some previous support, 56, and then for 3 days in a row, right up to 58 for a few days, and then that was kind of the bottom right around that little pocket. So that's about the level that I would be giving up on a short and then revisiting it at about 60. My style of trade is it goes in. I'm usually trying to catch a curl, not necessarily just get in and hold the short. It's just a different sort of setup style that I would look for. But to me, it's a short till it's not. Maybe it settles down for a couple of days and can hold the 45 to 50 level on the daily chart. And at that point, I think it's an interesting swing. But like we said with PayPal or Facebook or any of those, why would you guess at where the bottom is going to be? Allow it to consolidate, allow it to break out from that consolidation, and then go for it. Netflix did that when it had its bad earnings, and that gave you a good return. There's no need to try to pick a bottom. There's plenty of time. And remember, it's not like they're making any money. All the fintech names are looking pretty much the same. But if you allowed Square to show its bottom at 100, well, then guess what? You were patient, and you're rewarded by it. So you can do the same thing with Affirm. No need to rush in.
Talk about Square and PayPal here today. Bank of America and Citigroup both with upgrades, both going back to buy ratings and increasing their price targets. So it's been 2 or 3 days here of, I guess, positive movement for both of these. We're back to 110 here on Square. But yeah, 100 ends up being the bottom. But this is constructive, I guess, at least.
Stock Square, yeah. So Square again, Square on the sticky note today, and it's right here, guys. And it's together with PayPal. So I just talked about here. There's double upgrades here on both these names, and there's just key levels 108 and 118 on both of these names. So again, if you're going to be, I called up Intel here because, of course, now they're trying to accelerate their business here with some blockchain stuff. This reminds me of Long Island iced tea here, but we'll talk about Intel after. Okay, let's go over to Square. Square is just acting a little bit better here off that upgrade. So, I mean, now the market's coming back in, but you could see here Square up that 2% as opposed to PayPal. So I'll go over PayPal in a second as well, but you could see here this 108 bottom. So that's kind of what we're looking at. That was yesterday's bottom. We actually hit it pretty good yesterday. Square was a big winner for me yesterday off these 108 bottoms, and we had it to the upside both times. So we'll see if we can just rinse and repeat. It's a pretty simple trade for me. We give it to this bottom, and I like when stocks like this get upgraded, because finally, remember when I said Wall Street's rigged? So these guys get long down here, right? And why are they long at 100? Because they figure it's the bottom. So they come out today with the upgrade to see if you can get a bump. And guess what? It worked. So now they're up 2% today on these names. So there you go. Square gets the upgrade. I just get worried about punching tops here when you get upgrades, because like I said, I'm nervous that the same people that upgraded the stock are the same ones that sit here at 113 and then get out when you're punching long, right? So just be very, very careful of all of that stuff. And I'm just waiting down here. I actually have a bid at 110, so 110.50. So we're getting close to getting in. Right around here, we'll take the bid. And like I said, if the market crashes today and I'm in all these longs, yeah, it's going to be horrible. But we have our outs. We have our plan of action here. So I think on an upgrade, I trust it. 110.50 might be a little early. I'm gonna pull that back. I'm gonna pull back 110.50 now because the market has come back in. I'm gonna wait about this 110 area here now. A little bit lower than that, maybe 110.20. I'll change the order, but give that back to 108. And the same rhetoric I'm gonna say for PayPal. Again, right? These guys come out, upgrade a stock, right? Off the bottoms. They're long down here. They upgrade it, but today they're not getting the bump from PayPal. They only get that 0.5% up. So that makes me a little bit nervous, but maybe they try to punch it through 120 here. So for me, again, on the sticky note, as I have a quick look, I'm talking about 118.50. That's that ultimate bottom right here. And I do have bids all the way down. So I have one at 119.20. Where did that go down to? 119.30. So we missed a long on PayPal by 10 cents. So we'll wait to see if we can get that, but support these longs on these upgrades, but you do have your outs. You do not trade blind. The sticky note has the outs. You guys can read charts as well. These are very, very easy trades, man. Do not complicate them. Do them as, like here, my PayPal ones are showing up yesterday. We did the same thing, defend, out, and then look what happened. It breaks that 118.50 and we get out of the last piece. PayPal, a positive name yesterday. Okay, but we get that out, so in case it drops down, you don't have any exposure. PayPal and Square, easy longs today.
I mean, to me, it matters where for sure. 107 to 108 has been a big area on the upside, and I always look to where buyers come in en masse, and that's where they came in en masse in the stock, at least a couple of times. There's been several breakouts at this 107 price area, and I just look a little bit deeper. So I wrote down 107.50. It's basically the same thing. I just feel every time I'm looking at some of these lows, there's more volatility in this market, right? So sometimes they just have to run a little bit further here. Just remember, Block hasn't, like PayPal's reported, Block, if you're thinking about anything on a longer term, you don't get them for a couple of weeks, right? So you still have to dodge that bullet in a couple of weeks when they actually release their earnings, because they're very expensive trading. I mean, Ford is like 70 or something like that on Block still. So wait for 2 weeks to see earnings come in. We know where the support level is going to be. I wouldn't touch it short unless we were literally talking about 120. I think that would be a nice area if it got up there and the market was showing signs of rolling over. That's a nice little price area that you can dig into. And sometimes it sounds like, yeah, but what are the chances it goes there? Well, I mean, you just saw with Datadog and some of these other names, you get these big extensions and then you get the price you're looking for. Waited all morning for AMD 128 and then it eventually came in like almost an hour after the 8:30 release of CPI. So sometimes those levels come into play here, and I wouldn't like short off 14 or anything like that. It would have to go where I've seen real failure.
Speaking of earnings, let's go to Zillow next, up 14% pre-market. I mean, this thing has been just absolutely demolished over the past couple of months. So good to see some life after much better than expected report here, guys, for Zed. As I mentioned before, Zed and ZG, same thing, just different class of shares. Zed doing the most volume.
Like Zed. Man, those are good blueberries. Okay, Zed, yeah, the blueberries are on fire for some reason today. And we only got blueberries left right now. We got some pineapple, some blueberries, and some cantaloupe. Hot fire.
As long as it's not the apple.
Yeah, actually the apples weren't so bad today, but we crushed those anyways. All right, so let's go. Zillow, look. Again, a great quarter. It's on the sticky note today, so we're going to look at this. And I was just waiting for, hopefully, a move down to 52 area there on Zillow. And its only reason is that we've have these. Let me see if I can sort of let's go full chart on this and see if it's better. Yeah, okay. So we're up here today. So we're at right now. Zillow's at 50. Let's just move forward here a little bit. So it's at 55. So right into here. Look, this area down here is 51.50. So I don't know if we come back into 51.50 or not, but I'm just thinking that this 52 is going to be supported. So we got to go long, in here, 53, 53.50, something like that, to see about this 52 area. So look, good quarter. They've sort of revamped their business a little bit. They talked about making some money on their housing purchases. I mean, here in Canada anyways, the housing market is super strong. I don't know where they hold a lot of their properties, probably in depressed neighborhoods, but I don't know. I don't really like the business moving forward because of interest rates, but they've got that figured out. It's not my thing. I'm not an analyst here for Zillow, but I look at it and say we have some support back here. Does it fade back? I feel like 14% based on what I read. And again, I'm just going on the numbers here, is that this seems to be a little bit too high. But like I said, I'm not going to base all my discussions on EPS beat, this and that. Like as if I've sat here and looked at the last 3 or 4 quarters to analyze how they moved off that number, how they're going to move off this number. Forget about it. Let's just go here. We'll look at these levels here, 52, 53, 53.50. And look, I'm a little more casual these days because it's just been working. We've been hot fire for a long time here, and I'm just going to continue doing what we're doing, and that is looking at key levels and trying to make the trades for you. So we're going to bring it back down here to 53, 53.50. We'll see if we can test that long. And then if it breaks 50 to the downside, even though 50 doesn't look like, there's much trouble down here, I'm just going to get out. So this could, again, be another losing trade. If the market crashes down and we get caught up here, then it'll be a problem. So I'm going to try 52.50 now that I think about it, because I'm going to get out at 50 if it breaks. So we'll try down here, 52.50. If it works, great. But other than that, I'm not super interested in Zillow. I never trade it. So I'm going to just stick with what's been working.
Yeah, when I looked at the daily, I said, okay, pretty interesting, gets to $60. And it's sort of sitting in the middle. Like it either gets down to where Sean likes it or it gets up to around 60, where I think it can be faded. One thing I'm going to add to the list here, we mentioned Black Rifle getting its first day. Since the de-SPAC, I should say. It just made another push to yesterday's high here. So watching 1850, as it's been absolutely churning. Volume starting to pick up a little bit on Black Rifle. I mean, there's no obvious levels to look at since the de-SPAC, but it's a pure momentum style play. If it breaks 1850, 20 is going to stand out like a sore thumb. Just got to make sure we have some locates here. I think it's a relatively small float, but Black Rifle definitely on the radar, starting to move here.
All right, one to the downside here. Under Armour, not a good quarter for Under Armour. UAA, both 2.5% right now, actually starting to roll over a little bit here. Through 1950, lots of supply chain issues mentioned for this company in their report. So as I said, 1950 holding for the time being, but looking a little bit weaker than most here.
This has been really sleepy all morning long here in Under Armour. The only thing, it's obviously not moving a ton, but it is down a couple of points, and you can see the whipsaw action after the release. What I at least like about this is you kind of know the defined levels, but here's the risk to reward. Like you're sitting in the short here, which I'm actually contemplating at the open, fading off at $20. But you have these obvious price acceptance channels, like 19, like 1940, and it's just sort of sitting in this range. So I don't know that this gives you that gigantic return. Sure, it gives you a really defined out if it holds that 20 level, but you can sort of see it's been sitting in that channel, and you almost want it to be breaking back down to the bottom end. And even then, it's still got a lot of chop. I like the short off of 20 even. I'm just skeptical. I think you got to take profit at the 50, at the quarter, if you can get it. The spread right now isn't much of anything. The volume's still under 1 million shares, but 20 does stand out for me on Under Armour. So I am going to be looking at that one off of the open for the curl trade. Just expect that you might be, it's a $20 stock, so there's nothing wrong with taking 25 to 50 cents, but it might not be as volatile as some of the other names, and its volume is only half decent so far this morning.
Yeah, my charts aren't working, but I haven't even looked at Under Armour today, so for me, it would be a pass. I just didn't see much happening, and I don't really have any levels on it. So Under Armour, hard pass.
And a lot of strength over the past couple of days in chip stocks once again. They did kind of lead as far as the sell-off was concerned late in the day yesterday. If you joined us in the afternoon, yeah, it wasn't good for the overall market, but some of them trying, guys, to hold some levels here in the pre-market. No significant reason, just overall, it's been a pretty strong week for the chip group.
Yeah, look, AMD was the one that I chose to trade yesterday just because it had the most clear price to trade off of, and that was when it got to 128. Just essentially rinsed and repeated the price action from the day before. Now you've broken down below that level, which reinstitutes 128 on the other side, which is your resistance point. And we said in the afternoon show, hey, if it broke down, watch out, because you're talking 120, where I think there's a real bid on AMD. I might have said AMC accidentally, AMD. So if we get down to that level, I'll be looking to try to go long in front of a 121. Otherwise it has to retake 128. Everything else in the middle, I think you're just chasing a little bit there. Did also want to note the strongest of those names was Micron. I know we don't always trade Micron, but that was super. Oh, now it's not going to load. That was super strong, relatively speaking, for the majority of the day, holding some of those highs. So watching it at between 88 and 90, if this one can hold up in this range, Micron definitely has a chance to regain some of those tops at 95. It was really just the whole Bullard and the second move down in the market that dragged this. Like, it was resisting the pullback longer than just about anything I was watching. So Micron, the relative strength cannot be ignored. If it tries to make a bottom here at 90 even, I'm definitely going to be looking for it. There you go, chart finally loading the rest of it. You can sort of see right at the end of the day, it was able to hold 90. It was able to withstand that dip on CPI and just absolutely break out, and then never came back toward those lows. So that's what I meant by 88 to 90. I'll be on the bit of Micron a little bit sooner than I will be on, AMD would have to go to 120. Micron just has to come back to 90.
I'm a little scared about the market here, as we thought that it was going to be a good day here for the stock market, and I still think it could be, but I don't like this little reversal that's just happened here. So watch out. Look, I'm buying this 125. I think that's a pretty key level right here. So into this 125 area, you have to test it, buy it out, see if it works. It held yesterday 125, so we'll see if that works down here. I mean, if we get back down into those levels that Neil's talking about, 120, 121, then hell yeah, that's loading that thing up. So we'll test these 125s, get out if it breaks 124.50 down here, down to the bottom side. So giving this one a little bit of room. You want to be in AMD or NVIDIA or anything like that, especially if the market runs. These are super strong names. I would trade these over all the rest, but MU has been nice. TSM as well, but there's lots of names here. And quickly, actually, we'll do the imbalance locator when we get back, because NASDAQ will come out at 925. So Brendan at the board with a small cap stock here, it looks like.
Runner, hi. Cavill Brands, guys, KVL. You remember this thing had a pretty epic squeeze going back to the end of last year, all the way up to 14. We're coming back to $3 though, which was a key level on the initial move back to the downside. It tested it once already, but watch all the way up to 275 and $3. Got a lot of room. If it holds above $2 off the open here, probably test higher. KAVL, guys.
Not Henry Cavill, but Superman action. But that Black Rifle just made another move through the upside, broke that 1850 high. Looks like it's headed towards 20. Just be careful. The kind of stocks that can halt on you, you want to make sure that if you don't want to get trapped in a halt, watch out for this one, especially at the open at that $20 range. Starting to really get parabolic. A lot of times that last push at 930 or right at 930, if it doesn't halt, it turns at 20 and then traps some people. Like I said, the only place that I would even test the short would have to be at 20 even. Otherwise, allow it to halt, allow it to settle down. With only 4 minutes to go, I know we didn't talk about Astra, of course. Look, you had the fail launch. We were watching that one live. Unfortunate as it is, it halted. got down to about 350. Trader doesn't want to load. It's been retesting $4 even a couple of times in the pre-market, and of course lately, yesterday as well. So I'm going to take short in front of 4 on Astra, as I've now flipped like several times. But that's the only level I'm looking at for Astra. It's got to be the short side today until it breaks 4 even. I'll have to fix this chart.
I'm going to give a big shout out to Rolando. Thank you for the $10. We all miss Miss V, and she's back on Monday. So Miss V back in the building on Monday with Trader Prad. So thank you so much. Manipulation on FDA sends. I haven't even looked at sends. So and right now it just doesn't make sense for me to do that for you. So I'm not looking at that, but maybe Neil has something on sends. I don't know. We did go long here. Thanks for the super chat, and we will look at those in a minute. You could see here this 37 to the bottom here on Twitter, so it just does hold there. I'm going to give it to 36.70. If we break this area, then we're gone. This is the thing about Twitter and why I hate it, to be honest with you, and why we took out half right there, is because it just moves like this. It goes absolutely crazy, and I don't know where this thing is going to open up, and it's not on the sticky note today. We took it because of that buyback, and we'll see if anything does hit with this. I'm seeing some stuff on here that I'm going to ban hammer soon. Like, Laura, if you see anything on the chat that you don't like, or anybody that's part of our team, just hide those guys and ban them. I mean, if you're worried about doing it, just blame me, and I will be responsible for that. So just ban anybody you guys want if you are part of the team. Okay, Niagara Charlie said, watch out for AMC. We're watching it, but it's not doing anything. And then I wanted to show you quickly here the imbalance locator. Here it is right here. So nothing. I mean, I wanted to show it. I was hoping there'd be something on there. The Black Rifle Coffee wasn't. I was looking at this and I was like, you know what? I should just punch the long through 18, and I didn't do it. And now I heard Neil talk that it was going up. I didn't realize it shot up that much. I mean, you got to go long Black Rifle Coffee today as it's moving. There's Square right there on the bottom with a bid imbalance, so you can see Squares on the sticky note as well. The only name that we're in right now is Twitter, but there's a few names on here that we were looking at, including Square, including that BRCC, and then including Cliffs. There, Neil, you were in Cliffs earlier.
Oh, there was
an earnings report.
There was size on it, that's all.
Yep, so we'll watch out for Cliffs now. Down to 1978 right now, so that's starting to fade back in a little bit. For me, obviously, we will be looking at Affirm today, as that's a name that's on everybody's mind. So we'll look at Affirm. It looks crazy on this daily chart, so let's just zoom this in a little bit. You have that 54.50 top. That's something to be concerned about a little bit. Black Rifle Coffee, Manifest More, is BRCC. So if you want to look at that BRCC today, turning over its name from SPAC, so that's a good one there. Thank you, Tease Trade, the People's Trader. Yeah, that's what this thing is. And thank you, whoever made this. Can't remember now. There was another one. We'll just keep it on there for fun as we go. And that's about it, man. I mean, you guys know we're trying to play PayPal off the bottoms. We're trying to play Square off some of these bottoms. And we just didn't get involved because yesterday we got involved on PayPal too early. It was still a positive stock for us, but it did just tank, right? And so on names that are negative, it's like, hey, let's like give it some room to breathe a little bit. So PayPal, Square, Zillow, AMD, AMC, Ford as well. Should be a good day today. We've absolutely destroyed. Ford's been one of my top stocks the last couple of days off of 18. So we're going to test it again, put some bids down here near 18.
Yeah, and
there goes Twitter, by the way.
So Cliffs, by the way, guys, like that one, bad earnings report. They're on the watch list. There was some size there showing up in front of 20. I just played off of that when it got out because I wanted to wait till volume came in off of the open. But it looks like it does want to put in another failure down at this price. So shorting off of 20.30 was what I wrote down. I just didn't like it that early in the session. We're now right at the open, and it looks like it's going to be a good entry. This is what it looks like on the daily chart. Rejecting the 200 period, getting back below this 20 cluster, and lots of room to the downside. So Cliffs, it does have a small short interest, usually high single digits or so. So you do have to always have an out when you trade this name. But I look at that 20.30, and that's a solid one.
Okay, guys. Yes, sir. We did it again. Oops. What's up, Brittany? There it is. Look at that. Bang, bang. And you are right. The People's Trader did. We did reload Twitter down there, and you guys saw that happen. And even in the messages there, it was like, oh, Sean, watch out, watch out. Yeah, so we watch out for that when we get in, we get out there. We're wearing our Raptors, We the North now, as they win 8 in a row and destroy, obviously, the Houston Rockets. So,
well, I mean,
that was obvious. But 8 in a row is real nice there. We are reloaded, so here we go. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Remember, I have a bet out. I don't think Neil wants to take it, but
it's not a fair bet because you're forcing
any
me.
other team in the East.
Yeah, but you guys have the teams. I mean, what?
So who do you want?
Give me some odds and I'll take Chicago. I don't think it's a fair bet for me to have to pick Chicago though, because I don't get a choice.
I don't know the odds.
Okay, fine. We'll look at it again.
Okay. All right, so let's go, guys. Twitter, only 30 seconds now before we get open here. So I have Sixers, guys. I think you should take the Nets, man. All right, let's go. Let's get ready to rock and roll with only 15 seconds to go. The Russell Westbrook they offered John Wall for Russell Westbrook in a first, and the Lakers turned that down apparently.
Really?
Only 10.
5 seconds, 4, 3, 2. Tim on the bell, ring it, buddy.
All right, we just got PayPal long down here at 119.20, so let's wait to see what happens on PayPal. It's moving around. I don't like when markets open up and we instantly get in to something like that, but here we go. PayPal off 119, just making sure that we have the shorts. 118.50 coming through here. That's what we're looking for on PayPal. So we're now long, 119.28. Let's see where we go. PayPal, Twitter, both longs.
Yeah, watch it. Affirm just made a nice little move in here to the 53 to the downside. It still wants to try to hang in the middle of the range. Be patient. Got to wait for it to at least get to that 56-point cliff, which I was waiting for the open to get into. And you can now see it's trying to hold down below this 1980 area. I'm going to get in first leg, about 1950 on the break if I can even get it here, and then see if we can get more shares at 1980. Also watching that Black Rifle Coffee. That was a late entrant to the list. It got to 1950 and then pulled back to 1850. So it looks like 20. Now, a bit of a thing here still for Black Rifle Coffee, but for now, it's still trying to make its way at the open. That's the only level I think you can defend would be 20 even.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into some names, but as you guys can see, the market is absolutely taking off right now. $1 in the money on PayPal right now. So, maybe we'll take this. I'm waiting at 120.50 here on PayPal. So we'll see. Sorry, 120.40 on PayPal. It just stopped at 29. So I think we could get that, man. 15 more cents to the upside. And we're really close right now. There it is. Bang. That's a nice little win right there. Yeah. $1 right there to start the day on PayPal as that continues to go upside. And again, it's all over the sticky notes. Hopefully you guys have some of that. I don't know what else is moving. I'm not into anything else. So let's go find it. Crypto moving to the upside as well here. Probably didn't get long into Ford.
There's the first rug pull on Black Rifle Coffee. Like it just tanked through $18. So it looks like that chance of getting 20s, pretty short-lived here. If it retakes, maybe 18 and a half or so, I might short it off the high of the day. I did get next entry into Cliffs. That's the only thing I'm in. AMD's going the other way, so there's not going to be a dip buy. It just tested 127.5 and then pulled back a little bit. Astra, if you're watching that name, that just only tanked. I was sitting right here at 91. This is it, going like 2 cents away and then falling. Of course, they had the failed launch. And then Affirm is clawing its way to the upside, but it's still only at about $54, right? Like the resistance is much, much higher than this. In the middle, away from 50, and like that 58 to 60 area is probably playing with fire. And Cavill, whoa, that's gone.
Look at Affirm. I got to look at Affirm in a minute, too. Just to quickly check here, AMC. I was just checking over the sticky note to see what's happening. AMC is off, up, and away, man, already. A good call there, up 2%. We do not have AMC. We do have a new position, though. It's Ford. We took a long here. Okay, now it's open, but we got in there before it opened. So, like I said, those are dangerous positions, but we like the Ford long. Was hoping to get it a little bit lower than this. We are at 1806. Don't tell me. We are at 1806. It printed 1807. So hopefully it comes back down and gives us that opportunity one more time. PayPal is just chilling out right now at 120. I don't know. That's a little bit of a scary situation for me there. And Twitter, we've already answered this, and it's just kind of moving around there. But one thing I did want to look at, you just talked about it, was Affirm. I wanted to...
Still in the middle.
Is it still doing... Yeah, it's still doing nothing here. Let's zoom back in a little bit. Ooh, it does get to 54 and change. We, of course, are waiting at 56. And there goes Ford. Hey, what's up, Ford? Bang, right there. Again, another one. Boom on that one. There goes another winner for you on Ford. So we're 3 for 3 right now today. And let's start this party right. And it's only 9:33:33 right now.
Oh, goodness. Astra just broke the low. So as quick as it was at $4, now it's testing $3.50. I'll try to take the breakdown. Of course, like Affirm, short sell restricted. So you can't really hit that bid without an uptick. Black Rifle doesn't even want to make a bounce at this point. This is the one I wanted to watch at the open to try to get that short curl off 19. Maybe it can bounce off 17 even and then re-engage up at the top, but it doesn't feel very likely at this point. And then watch out for AMD here. You've seen it go back and forth a couple of times off of 126. If it takes out 126, it's got a decent chance to maybe take out the bottom here. You had already a rollover fail break through the top, and that's a setup that I usually like. So again, I like the long if we could get it at 121 to just sort of stand in front of a falling sword. But if it's going to break this 126 and put on that curl off the top, I'm willing to take the short rollover. I know where my out is going to be above that 127 and then just play it off the pre-market lows.
What's wrong with Roblox? What is wrong with Roblox? Is Roblox not open yet? RBLX. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, no, it's not open yet. So I was just looking at it. I was like, what's wrong with Roblox? Like, it's not moving here. So it's not open, as some of you guys are mentioning Roblox. It doesn't. Is there something wrong with Can you check Roblox, Brendan? I don't know if there's anything up with it, but it doesn't make any sense. 4 minutes in and literally no prints. So something's broken with Roblox. It's either on our system or not.
There's something wrong with the data feed, I think.
Yeah, is it all New York stocks? So hold on a second.
It's definitely
because
Roblox.
my Twitter's not moving either.
Yeah, I know what you're.
I don't know what's happening here. So I don't even know. But Ford is working. So it looks like we're having a data problem on certain names.
Check something else that begins with R.
Alphabetized. No, because Twitter's not moving either.
Okay.
So maybe let's just check out Square. Square's a New York name with S. Yeah, so Square, something either. So we're having a data problem right now. So maybe if someone on our team can mention that to Juan or somebody ASAP, please, that'd be great. Laura's on it as well, or maybe not. Thank you guys for that one. Okay, the market's crashing. So go ahead, Neil. I'm just looking for some trades here.
Yeah, I'll do this one. We'll hit the switch because you brought up basketball. We'll talk about that, but a little different. I do like DeRozan and the Bulls. I just think that Milwaukee's.
You can take Milwaukee.
Dan got to pick Milwaukee. He already has them.
Take him.
But okay,
I'll bet you 100.
Should talk about the markets first. AMD just got to 125. It bounced a little bit, so we took the breakdown trade. I'm going to take some out in front of 125. This is not a target down at 121 for the short. That is just where I like the long in front of 120. So, I just want to make sure that I had that order out there so I don't forget about it. But the next level down, if it breaks this 125 even, I'm really just looking at the market and want to play it by ear. I'm looking to reload if it comes back up in front of 128. But the one that's not working, oh my goodness, see, can I flip? There you go, second time works. Cliffs coming right back up to that high. So I got the breakdown short and then right back at the area where there was size before in front of 210, but it looks like it might want to take out that 2030. Cliffs has like a 7 or 8% short interest, so on earnings when it's beaten down, it might stop out. And if it does, I would only re-engage if it retests the high. That's the reason why I want to make sure I have a stop up here. Even if I think it has room down to 1850 or so, I don't want to be hanging on to it for dear life forever. AMD trying to catch a bid here at 125. We've already taken some out. If it consolidates, could be headed for another breakdown. Those are the only two I'm in. Astra just completely flushed. I can cancel these orders because I don't want to have a mistake like on a firm where I was sitting there looking for a short and then just left them out there only to get picked up when I didn't want to late in the day when they had that stupid tweet. 350 has now broken. I'm going to look to see if it can't pop into the upside and give me some kind of a trade. And speaking of a firm, yeah, that never gave you, look, it didn't give you a shot at those highs, but it's about to give you a shot, I think, at that $50. If this breaks the low, 50 is about the only level worth of defense just for maybe a little rubber band type trade for the long side. Otherwise, a 50 break, what it couldn't do yesterday, could be in the cards.
All right, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if someone can, we're not getting an update on this, so if someone can try to update it. Lucas, if you can just go run and ask Juan or somebody, do something there. Okay, so right now Ford back up to the, and it's just, he already knows what it is. So if you're already on message with him, then that's cool as well. But because we don't have quotes on stocks. So okay, AMD, just so you guys know quickly here, we are into this name. We're using 124.50 as our out. So it didn't go down there. So we're going to use 124.50 as our out. We are long at 125.44 on this name. So let's see if that works. But what is working, man, is the great down here. We took a big position again on Ford today. So let's see if it breaks. If it breaks this 19 or 95, then we'll get out on this one. But for right now, Ford seems to be working on the New York. Like I said, we will get some answers here in a minute on what is going on with this. But there it is. We'll take a little bit more out there on Ford as that seems to be working. $1 in the money on PayPal, guys. I don't know what I'm in the money on Twitter. I have no idea what the price is. And we'll find out if AMD can hold out highly as well right now. What's up, Brendan?
Goodyear Tire, another one that reported this morning, getting absolutely destroyed here this morning. So far, 23 down to 19.5. Straight downside for GT on heavy volume.
One of the names I liked, I talked about Under Armour in that range. It just immediately flushed off the open. I should have had this. I got into Cliffs, and that's the orders that I was trading on. And sometimes if you're looking at 930 to get into position because there's low volume, I went to Cliffs first. You can see that one's against me. And Under Armour, the other one that I liked, has already fallen. It's already made the move, right? Like it's gone 1950 down to 1820. So that's pretty much what we were looking to capture. So you can't chase the trade. It's come, it's gone. Now you're looking at lows at 1750. That's probably the level worth defending here to see if it has any kind of a bid. Oh my goodness, that Astra, it's just like there's no chill in this stock right now. The firm's doing the same thing, but Astra now down to like 347, continuing to fall down. It got as low, if you're watching the halts, it got as low as 325. I mean, psychologically, maybe it makes a bounce there. That's about all I got. This is one that I probably should have short, but I'll tell you, the couple of times I've tried to get in, it's short sell restricted, which does make it tricky. And a firm's not at 50 yet. We're still at about 51.60. It's getting there. It's clawing its way down to 50. I mean, I don't see any way it doesn't trade at that 50 level. Whether it bounces first before breaking, I think it can be played in both directions. And AMD, I don't have a specific target on AMD. I would think that if it bounces off of 122, I'm liking it long at 21s. I'm very likely to take it out if it bounces off that 22, but $1.20 in the money. But I've already scalped some. So now that I've scalped some out, it's about holding the trade to see if it can continue to work for me.
Guys, I'm not missing Roblox on purpose. We don't have quotes.
We can't really look at
stocks, and I don't know. I don't even know what Roblox is trading at. Like it's not 68.60, right? So there's nothing I can do. So I have to wait. I have to wait. Like my Twitter is not moving.
Actually, you know what?
I mean, I could check. I know I could check other charts and stuff like that. But I mean,
Roblox looks like it's at $71. If I'm right.
It's at 70.75 right now. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing I can do. Anyways, so for right now, hopefully we'll get an update here in the chat and we'll figure out what's going on. But right now, AMD, I think it must be company wide. So if you're at Day Trade the World, let us know because I'm starting to get a little pissed off, to be honest with you. Down here to 124 at the bottom. We'll see what happens on that one. But okay, so PayPal, so Square, again, we don't know where that's at. I assume this is going lower. If you are in Square right now, just watch out for some of those bottoms. I'm going to find it on the chart here. Yeah, no, it's actually upside 115 for Square right now. So Square doing well. We did identify that Square was moving better than PayPal today. So remember what I was talking about on that upgrade, Square moving way better than PayPal in the pre-market. So that's probably the one you want long. So I'm just not going to look at New York stocks that are like halfway down the alphabet because I think that's the.
Well, I want to make an important point here because someone said, why don't you just cover your positions if you're flying blind? Here's the thing: our execution is fine. Stop orders are still are still working. You can still execute in and out of a stock, but it's not all symbols. So what I'm in right now, I have quotes for. I can see them just fine. I'm not really having an issue. But it's just some other names that I might want to get into. Like I wouldn't jump into a trade if I didn't have the right moving quote. Now I'm going to take a quick look at Zillow here, if only because it found a bit of a bottom at 54. This never got to 60. I said, talk to me when it gets to $60 for any kind of a short trade. But it just made some kind of a wick bottom trying to recover this 54, 55 level. If it holds below, this is a pretty interesting gap to be filled. I know Sean's talking about 52's downside. I think that's exactly what you could get if it can manage to hold 54, 55. AMD right now, like I said, I'm only in AMD and Cliffs. Cliff is basically just going back and forth between like 1950 and 20. 2030 is going to be my out. And AMD is continuing to press towards the lows. I'll go back to the 1 minute so you can see. It just got to 124. So it's starting to accelerate. The market, however, is not, like we're not screaming to the downside. Look at the NASDAQ, look at the ES, look at the ES, right? And then kind of look at the NASDAQ as well. We are pulling back here, so there's some relative weakness going on in AMD, and that brought me to look at Micron, which I thought might be at $90 to catch that bid. It's not, so Micron's still relatively strong.
All right, so we're obviously flustered here from everything that's going on right now. Even Arun saying that some of his stuffs aren't working either. So I mean, I apologize. I wish it was a little bit of a better attitude for me, but we are going to just keep on trucking like we have no choice, right? So we'll just trade names that we know are working, guys. So if you don't see certain ones on the board, forget about it. We're going to move on and put on a happy face. So AMD, we did get out there at 124.50, like we said, and then we rebought it back at 124 flat. So we're long at 124.09 now, and we just took a little bit out. Obviously, we are noticing that 1.33% versus minus 0.24, relatively weak here on AMD. But again, it can change its mind in a flash. So we're going to give this down to 123.50. If that breaks, then that's it. We're gone. There's no magical levels anymore. We'll just say, you know what, AMD, you win today. We'll get you every other day. So that's fine for now, but we are on that name as, yeah, I noticed Roblox back to 70.50. Oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about that, just like Bruno. Okay, so that's Ford. What else do we have on our list? Palantir won't work either because it's a P. We can look at Zed. Right? Ooh. Here goes AMD going upside.
There's a halt on this MODD. This was, I do believe, and thank you for everyone pointing it out. Yeah, this just came to market yesterday. So I think, it was an uplist from the OTC yesterday to make that correction. I know it traded at 790 or so, something like that, when it was on the OTC markets, but an up halt after flushing to $5. So it definitely has this $6 on the reopen as resistance as I'm looking at. I actually like the notion if it plunges initially, tries to retest and fails at the high. That's a pretty decent short entry, one that I've traded in the past. So that's what I'll be looking for in about a minute or two when this opens up, assuming it's a 5-minute halt. Of course, it could be a 10-minute halt, but I'm expecting it to just be a 5-minute halt on MODD. As you mentioned, a bit of a bounce there in AMD. I do want to reevaluate this one at about 125, the previous pre-market low. See if it makes that little bit of a curl, but I want to resist the temptation of putting a trailing stop in. That was a mistake that I made yesterday in Twilio, and I don't want to do the same thing again.
Like again, I always say this and I'm tired of it, so maybe I'll stop, but I'm sitting at 79. That's just where we stopped there on AMD longs. We're trying to make 70 cents back here on the high side of AMD. There it is. Let's go. Yes, there it is. 79 gets hit. Booyaka! As we go Ali G style right here today. I don't think Ali G would ever wear a Raptors shirt, but there we go. This is We the North right there, guys. As we go, 125 and going. Let's go to the upside right now. Bang, let's go. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Now we're rocking. A nice little win here. $1 in the money on, look what we're doing again today, guys. 4 for 4 here. $1 in the money on PayPal. Big time in the money on Ford, 15 cents. That's good on Ford for me, man. And $1 in the money on AMD as we make all of that back right there. Back. Let's go. Let's see if AMD takes out 126 now. That's kind of the target that we have on board. So let's offer 126 right now and see if we can't take $2 right here on AMD. So spin it. Money. So far, so good here today as we stack our pockets with some said money. And let's just go, man. We got a Valentine's Day coming up. We need to make that cash, as a lot of you know. So let's go to the upside right here and keep going. What is Twitter? I'm long 37.21. What is Twitter's actual price here, guys? We are long 37.21, and the actual price is 37.18. So, Twitter maybe is working now.
I think things. Yeah.
No, it's not. My bad. But all right, PayPal dollar, AMD $1.50
sure?
now. Yeah, because look at Twitter. It's not.
You're right.
That's Ford. But anyways, Twitter's not working. There goes AMD. We got to get some out here. It's right at VWAP. I was waiting for this high spot, but that's a great long off 124. So let's just get another piece out here. Again, counting chickens, maybe not a good one. Let's get out first.
Yeah, again, I'm just going to hang on to AMD. Cliff still hasn't violated, so we're managing those two. It's Affirm, which is, got to 51.20. Now it tries to retest the high. Now, we definitely like that $58 to $60 area on Affirm, but there's no way at this point, after bouncing off 50 even, it suddenly gives you a chance at 55. I'm going to take that level if we can get it, and I only want to be to the short side until it breaks out, and I don't think it breaks out till it gets past $60. So you might see me pop into a 54.5 short with a 55 stop on Affirm now that it's established a move to the downside here. And then remember mod, that's the one, when something halts, I'm starting to look for something very specific. It just opened back up. You saw that test at $6, and then it just tried to break out at 6 and then had a bit of a failure. I just tried to grab some short, was unable to do so, but that's the setup that I'm looking for on MODD. Looks like it's trying to fail already. And Black Rifle Coffee. I just missed mod, man. That was a good chance. Maybe catch that short. Just missed it by a little bit. But Black Rifle Coffee, BRCC, that's on the New York. My apologies. There's been absolutely no bounce in this. So it looks like that test to $20, it had to be the pre-market. Like either you took it in the pre-market or if you missed out on the pullback, which I thought was a bit inevitable at some point. I thought it would make the move at the open to go higher and then fade, but it decided to just fade right away.
The AMC not doing much. I'm so pissed off because Square, you know, we should have that one, but again, that's not something that we can even quote on right now. So we are trying to find out what the problem is, and Lucas is on that one. So hopefully, as our IT looks into the problem, and I don't know what it is, obviously it's a data issue, so apologize on that one. But if you are long Square, hopefully you're long off the sticky note with some of those prices are huge, as Square is right now at 117. 118 now for Square. We wrote down here those bottoms of 108, I don't know. Anyways, who cares? Let's just wait to see what happens here for Square.
It goes without saying. I wanted to fade 120 if it got there, but I don't know.
It's still not.
It's
there.
still working.
I
don't want to be trading something like going parabolic, like blind. Like, yeah, or execution still works, but when you're going counter trend, you kind of want everything to be going right for you. It's one thing to hold something which is trending. To make that quick in and out scalp trade when you don't have close to the perfect, I think that's a little bit reckless, so you might not see me take that. Astra, on the other hand, quotes are absolutely fine here. And Mod, we have no locates, so I couldn't make that trade even if I wanted to, as good as it looked. Astra has now turned at 360. It's even weaker than I think I anticipated here. I might just have to get in front of the pre-market lows. I was short here at the bottom and it wouldn't go. I should have just revisited that same price, 360. I do want to be involved in Astra and Affirm, but I'm not willing to chase anything. That's why you see me. I've got some profit on AMD. Cliff just basically sitting in, and it hasn't been able to challenge either breaking out at 2030 or breaking down past 19 even, so there's really nothing to do with that one. I'm going to try to get in Astra now in front of that 360 bottom that it held previously. AMD back to about $1 in the money, but I'm really looking to see if that can't go like 2 or 3. The relative weakness is obvious, I think, with AMD, given that the market is still breaking out, and AMD holding fort, still down around that 125 level.
Isn't that funny that we're both $1 in the money on AMD, opposite ways?
Trade the key level.
So there you go. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was looking at these levels as well. The same where Neil's short is where I'm trying to get out. So okay, a big level here for Ford, obviously at 18. We've hit that now 3 days in a row, and it's really just paying bills right now, Ford. So thank you so much for that, as it's just bounced off 18 multiple times. At this time, we're just scalping it out, but now we have enough to hold. So we're still in a third now. We'll see if Ford takes out the high and then continues to climb upside right now for Ford. I feel like the market, we got a little lucky here on this move upside. So yeah, watch out. That's all. Like, just watch out for some of these longs. We may exit. Like, PayPal's not really working. It's only at 120. It got as high as 121. I'm trying to hold this one. Not working as well as Square is. So that's something that's. Oh, did we just get fixed there? Yeah, we did. So now we're fixed. It looks like Twitter's back and working. All of a sudden, my net changed. So I was like, okay. Now it looks like Twitter's working. So thank you, Lucas. You could tell won that. And thank you for everybody for supporting us through those times. So it looks like it's working now. I'm going to exit Twitter and then just figure it out from there, because we're in the money on this name. So let's exit it. And thank you for everybody's patience. Yeah,
now I can show you, like, this is what it looks like on block here. Up at that 117. This is the previous high from yesterday, 119. You have the head and shoulders if you like that pattern. Whatever. This is a 120 level up there. That's what I was looking for. And now we can finally revisit it here. Sitting there, I'm on the offer. Why am I not getting that fill? Did I get it? On 350. There we go. Yeah, I actually did get the fill on Astra. So I'm finally into this stock. First leg we'll take at 350 in front of that 360 bottom. I don't mind getting some more shares at 55. If this breaks the low, like, the reason why you can take it 10 cents away on a 350 stock is 325 was the halt bottom. If it takes this bottom here, I would expect we could see 325 rather quickly. The disappointment this morning has been Affirm is not really doing a heck of a lot. I thought there'd be more volatility here. Someone asked me what I was focused on the most. I said, well, inevitably Affirm, expecting there to be some moves, and you're not seeing anything whatsoever in Affirm. So just the 3 positions I have, and that's what we're going to have to stick with. Micron, which I thought we'd catch a bid on in that market weakness. It does come down. It tests 91, does not break to give me the entry at 90. I like them for the long in the chip space, and unfortunately, it's not going to be able to come in. There is a chance that we can break out, however, on Micron. I mean, the market's trying to get through the highs. This is Micron trying to break back out through that top. This is 95 sitting at the high. And 100 would be the obvious level if you ended up getting a 95 break.
Oh, shit. Money. Upside, Ford again. Spin the money. As there it is, man. Let's go to the upside right now on Ford. As that's crack-a-lacking right now. 80 cents in the money on AMD, 20 cents in the money on Ford, and $1.05 in the money on PayPal. And the fruit salad is now finished. Let's go over to Brendan.
Gilead, guys, GILD just popping up here through 62.50. It looks like nice positive day so far. For Gilead, they just released some data showing remdesivir effective against Omicron as a treatment, guys. So Gilead on the move.
Get booted for some reason.
Gilead. AstraZeneca was on the upgrade downgrade list.
What's up to Handmaid's Tale? My wife was in Handmaid's Tale there. Okay, so that's Gilead. I don't know if you've watched it, but that's like their like faction.
I've tried reading the book like twice, and I just can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about books. Okay, 53.80 here to the downside. We are now short on a firm, so let's see what happens. This is not the sticky note play. We're waiting. We're still waiting for up here. Like this is where we'll get serious with it, up in this area. If it does come back to 54, this is what we had. Sorry, not 54. 58, 57. Like in this area is what we actually like here on a firm. But let's just zoom in a little bit to give you the game plan right now. If we can get a piece out here for $1, we'll do that at 52.80. So let's put a bid out right now. As Ford is just rocking, I'm changing one of my level 2s now because Ford, I just have nothing to do but cash out of that one. We'll put a bottom here, 53.01 or something. If we can get that, that's pretty good. Right back to the 50 period on a firm. We'll try to make that $1 right now, right? So that's what we'll do. You know, we're counting our money up a little bit here. We'll see. Oh God, that's a mistake on Twitter. I don't even mean to have this trade. So now we got to get out of this one. Damn it. That was a stop order that I left in there as everything was getting messed up. So let's put a bid out there and get out. Oh, damn it. Twitter gave a little bit of money back there on a mistake. Oh, we're still positive on it, obviously. So that's okay. But okay, just on a firm. That's the plan right now. We'll average in up here and then we'll get out if it takes 55. So that's going to be the plan of action right now on a firm. We will take like that $1.20 hit or something if it takes out 55, but we'll average in one more time up to these levels, what's already tested today, 54 and change. But in order to put on a decent, like a position that we'll be more confident in, it has to come back into here, $58 to $60. So that's where we're sitting. We're still sitting at $57.50. If that comes in, great. But that's what we're looking at right now on those levels. PayPal come back in a little bit. Now 75 cents in the money, but still doing okay. Affirms the short. And then the AMD long is testing that 123 get bottom again. And as Neil was saying, that's, relative weakness in AMD was identified early. And it just never really stopped. Like we took it out. We're now holding that 20%, of our current position, but that's coming out right now at 123.50. So AMD will be a losing stock for me today, but we're making up for it on everything else. There it is. So AMD crashed down there. Probably a good one to hold if you're still in, but that's...
well, it's mixed. I'll be happy about AMD, but then Cliff finally broke out that top. So it couldn't flush. I mean, even when the market turned around, Cliff, and remember, just be careful with it because it does have that 7 or 8% short interest. But AMD, I am trying to hold on towards that bottom. I didn't quite get picked up on a firm. I was looking at that 54, a little closer to 55. But Pinterest on the move here. Thank you guys for pointing out. This is another reason why it's the greatest community out there. We always talk about growing the community. Nobody can see absolutely everything, and everybody can learn from everybody around here. And Pins is a stock I love to trade. So when I hear Pins is on the move, I'm like, thank you very much. I'm going to go right over to it and see if we can't find something there for you guys. It was one of the names that we had some data issues, so I'm going to miss something on my charts. But you can quickly go to the daily, and I know this 28 level is a big one because it's been sitting down here. And we talked about names needing to break back out. Okay, yes, I was shorting this one off 28 a few days ago, so that's why I kind of knew the level. But 28, it needs to break back above this to even get any kind of a break point. But look at the nice gap you have to 30 to 31 were it to take 28 even. Do I think it's a fade in front of that price first without knowing what the rumors are? Yeah, probably, but I wouldn't short it off the 28 level unless I knew exactly what caused that spike on Pinterest. But that's a pretty big level that it just went into. So when you see it reverse off of that, or if you get a long, you got to think about where you should be taking profit. When in doubt, zoom out.
All right, so yeah, we like that saying for sure. There it is. Okay, so we did get some Affirm outs there. So okay, I was sitting there wondering, like, how come I'm not out of Affirm, but I am out of Affirm. So okay, so we do get that bid right there at 10. So okay, good. We got 53.10 there. It ran me over, and I was like, okay, what was that all about? But okay, so 53.10, we did get it. So there it is. And again, another one, guys. Let's just like timber goes Affirm right there. So here it comes back down. So next target, nothing. I don't have a target on the downside. We want to hold this one if we can. Maybe we take out the day's low down here. I mean, the market is cracking a hell of a lot lower. We did empty out some of our Ford. Let's get out of some more here. There's Affirm. There's our 10 that we took. So that's a good trade for us there. Short again, and out. So that's a good trade as we're cracking tracking lower, lower, lower right now. What is going on? Like, I just have so many random things popping in here. There's Twitter again. We just make some money again. I have to look at my orders because we just got short Twitter again there. That short would have been, we should have held. These are mistake orders. These are to cover these longs. But again, like, I just have to.
Sometimes they win too,
Sometimes
right?
they win. Well, that means we just got some decent levels there. But obviously we were wrong on the long on Twitter. And that's the last time, like, I look at something like that that's not really on the sticky note. But okay, let's go, man. That's that.
Don't ever look the gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, don't.
Make sure you take your profits. So I'm going to make sure I do that because Astra just broke the low of the day. I'll take the first out as all of these starting to come back into the downside. AMD just broke 123, so it's on what I think is the last leg. So we had, consolidation 24, consolidation 23. If I think it's a long at 21 in front of 20, well, this is probably the last breakdown that I'm looking to capture. So anywhere around this 122, if it starts to slow down, that's where I want to take it out. It's already 10 o'clock. Wow, this one's moved fast. Brendan's at the big screen. Time to see what's happening now.
Bit of a mixed start, guys, for North American market. It's here we go, back to negative territory just there for the S&P 500. We were up about 0.2%. The Dow, the Russell as well, both still positive, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, all to the upside. The NASDAQ, the composite N100, in negative territory at this point, but on the way back to the upside. Cleveland Cliffs on the watch list this morning after earnings were not great. It did give you a quick scalp to the downside there off the open, but right back to the upside now, trying to take out 20.5 there for CLF. UAA we mentioned as well. We were talking about this at 19.50. It's now at $18, so great fade for UAA this morning, guys.
Under Armour is going to be the one that got away. In the morning, when things don't go perfectly, you just have to sort of consolidate your ideas, right? So that's going to be part of one of the reasons we go through everything in the morning is so that you get an idea of what makes sense, what we're looking at, and where the actionable trades are. And I actually just put in the chat talking about trailing stops and how, I don't always love them. Okay, AMD did not just go to 123. 80, I can tell you it's still down right here at 123. That's a dark pool print. But AMD, because it's close to that 122 target, and this is where I'm looking to take it out anyways, once we break this low, it's about 122.75. I am going to put a trail in, and it's likely to be at that 123.50. I don't really see anything changing in that regard. I mean, a firm looking great. I'm glad Sean got the short there because it feels like it's inevitable. Like $50 seems inevitable for a firm. And looking at the weakness in AMD on the short side, and then here again is Micron, nowhere near. And I'm going to cancel that 90 bid because there's no point just sort of sitting here. If Micron breaks this 91.25 area that's been holding all morning long, then I probably want to evaluate where I would get into the trade. AMD looking like what the market wants to bounce to, so I'm going to get that trail. I want to make sure I'm locking in my profit there, guys, just because I think if I only really thought it was about $3.5 to $4, I want to make sure I'll lock in here at 124 because at some point I want to make sure I get that long, which I am looking to get on this downside play. The market's bouncing. Brendo?
Down there at 10 o'clock, University of Michigan sentiment preliminary February number came out 61.7 versus 67.5. So a little bit lower than expected there on that University of Michigan sentiment, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brendan. Make sure we get all that information. Keep in mind, too, like we always get live reports, news, data from Brendan. That's one of the value of the show, too, is that you can get that live news. And on top of that, you can make sure that you check all of that yourself. There are websites you can always look at. I'm not trying to avoid sends. I actually thought it was a bit weird to digest when they got the FDA note there. And I really did think that there could have been a breakout at 3:30. I was watching it at the open, and it started to roll over. And I asked myself, would I actually want that rollover short off of that price? And I guess I could have just stuck a really tight stop and done it. But it didn't really, the price action didn't make sense to me, so I stayed away from it. If I don't understand something, I'm not going to force a trade in the stock that I'm not really understanding at that point. That being said, with sends, when you come over here and look at the daily chart, you got the 50 at 280. You have a ton of price acceptance between 250 and 285. So now that it's decided it wants to come back down, I just say to myself, okay, we get into this range here, and that's where you can start picking up some long. So I didn't really have a strong notion for a trade to the short side. I wish I could say that I did, but I didn't. Now you have to wait for it to get back down into this cluster to start thinking about where you can make a bit of a buy, because that's all that's left.
Okay, we reloaded our coffee, so we're back. And shout out to Tony, he's a funny guy over there. Just said what's up to him. So what's up, Tony? What's up, Greg, as well? What's up to everybody? Like a little crema action on that thing. Where's the camera action?
Black.
Where is it? There it is, right there. There it is. You see that nice little coffee? Last time I did that, I spilt it everywhere, so that success right now. Okay, so far so good, guys. Hit up the coffees and make sure you stay hydrated with said water as well. There's the Trader TV Live water. This is just not. I got this on Amazon and I threw a sticker on there, so there it is. The Trader TV Live official water jug. Okay, so what's going on? Hydration Nation. Shout out to Arun over there as well, a honorary member of Hydration Nation. And here we go. All right, so Ford. Unfortunately, maybe we should have been sitting here for a reload. I wouldn't have got it at this price. I'm still waiting for a little bit lower, but there we go, up to the upside right now on Ford as that continues to climb, man. Good day today for me. Look at this one. Yes, sir. Fail, affirm, stamp that on there. We go, what the heck? Because look at affirm, look at that short, and look at this. Look where we're at right now. This may be a good spot to cover, to be honest with you. And then if it tanks even more, then fine. But 52 flat, I like that as a cover, so I think we'll do that. Let's put an order right now on AFRM at that 52 level. If it comes in, it comes in, and we'll just take that bid and get the heck out of here on affirm. A great short there for us. We were able to identify that level. Pretty easy level, to be honest with you. We are obviously on the sticky note. We were waiting for a little bit higher, but again, just identified some of these tops, right? And we short off those tops. That's it. And if it would have gone more, then we would have even averaged in even more on that trade. So right now, affirm. You know what? Scrap that. Let's cancel that bid right there and get away from it. I'll let this one go, man. I mean, it's a big trade for me. We're already in the money, pretty good on it. So let's let it breathe a little bit here on affirm. So we'll let it breathe to the downside. And if we get a 51.50 or something like that, then I think that we'll take it out down there. So we'll do that. Let's see if we can make another 40 or 50 cents and take $2 clean on it. PayPal, like, look at PayPal not doing anything, and I was just saying about what Square was doing. So Square, you know, actually, you know what, Square, so I actually misspoke the time before. I thought Square was ripping, but it actually wasn't. Huh? No, Square's going to the downside. Like, I was mad that I was in.
I know why. It's because when the things came back, it was at the high.
Yeah, okay. So my mistake. I thought that I was in the wrong one with PayPal, but they're actually both. PayPal's actually been fine. They're both not acting properly, so that's my bad. Now that we can finally see data, I can see. I thought Square was down here, and we made a move up here. So yeah, Square right now not doing much. We did talk about some levels on Square, but they were a hell of a lot lower. It just took off there in the pre-market. So Square, we were looking for like down here, 110, using 108 as the bottom. So if Square can come back in, then we'll test it on the long. But that's my bet on that one. I did think Square was ripping, and it wasn't. So
I'm going to hit this one. AMD, I did get the trailer, like I said. At some point, if I'm actively looking for the long trade, this cluster down here just has to be where I'm thinking about getting out of the short. Maybe it comes back up. Only time will tell whether that was a good exit point, but we've got to be happy with the rollover trade there. Astra is the other one that we're still sort of sitting in here. I want to be reloading this and then just sort of playing the trend into the downside, at least until that 325, where it ended up halting, making a halt bottom, I should say, making a halt bottom in yesterday's trade. Someone actually was Henry, just actually DM'd me, sort of saying, yeah, you had a structured trade and it looked like a really good idea off of Under Armour, and I did. But my point in response was execution matters too, and ultimately, like, my decision to wait until the open to get into that short, it was a mistake, right? Like, I was willing to get into, sort of get into cliff at the open, but they were very similar setups. And you kind of should have both in that particular case. And then just whichever one works, you hold on to the winner, you take your out on the other. Like, it just had to stop on cliff. When it broke the stop, you get out. And then would have been able to take advantage of Under Armour. But to be able to tell you that I could say which one I liked better, I don't know that I really could. It was a very similar style setup. It's just that, one I happened to catch, one I didn't. If you're a robot, you get them both. If you're an algo, you get them both. But, obviously I chose wrong. And Under Armour did go all the way down to 118 here. So it's touched that $118. $18. If it goes to 118, that'd be insane. Got to 1780. So it's put in a bit of a failed break at the low. And as I said, if you can't get one direction, sometimes you end up in the other. If it retests this bottom and can hold a higher low off of 1780, then there could be a retracement play into VWAP. I don't know that it's there yet. But, that's the only thing I can look at now, having missed out on that short trade. And just to come back to Black Rifle, whatever. Just to come back to Black Rifle, it's still hanging off of these bottoms here. now it's still, look, if you look at 16, it's 1, 2, 3 times, including pre-market, that it's bounced off of this level. And as long as it holds that, I'd be inclined to think there is a second push to the upside. So I'm not writing the stock off. And KVL, which went absolutely gangbusters at the open, found a top at $3. So it's trying to put in a series of, I guess, lower highs at this point on the way back down. It's been a multi-day runner. $3 is sort of an obvious price here. You've seen every single day it's put in a bit of a top and then continue to break out. At some point, usually, it has a bit of a deeper push down. This is the most parabolic move. So I'd be looking to short now that it's failed off of 3 even. But I needed to see it fail. There was nothing really that stood out on the daily chart. Sellers are starting to maybe take control of this name. So in front of 3, I think it can be shorted.
Get ready, we are almost out here for $2 on a firm. Ooh, we're at 51.70. So let's see if it comes down and fills us down here. We're right at these bottoms of 51.50. So we'll see if we can get, oh, come on. Let's see if it gets us, man. I don't want to miss this by pennies again on a firm, but darn it, did we wait a little too early on that? Just trying to make that 2 pennies, yeah. $2 actually on that one. We'll put a firm into the gates of hell. We go choo-choo as the train rolls through those gates. Let's see now a firm. There it is. Bang! With another one, man. The People's Trader is back in the building. And there it is, another one for us there as we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. 0 for 1, one stock negative. That's AMD. But Neil covered that up with some nice wins on the short side. But there it is, a firm. Beauty short right there, boom. I think I even tweet this one out. Right off some of that support, well, it was resistance in this case, right back down into these levels. Does a firm crack lower? Maybe, but we're just taking that profit out, man. The market's taking down here. Let's see what we could do with that. Ford, we did, again, on the move back up, we're getting out near the top. So an out at 22, an out at 23, and now we'll wait to see what can go on the rest. But again, so we have 15% of our shares left on Ford, and obviously a good name for us here today on that one. But let's try to find some more names. Microsoft.
Tesla just broke down.
Go ahead, yeah. Tesla?
Tesla just broke down below 900. Thank you guys for pointing that one out. I have a weird little gap in my chart, so I don't know what's going on there. But either way, 900, go to the 15-minute, 900 to me wasn't as significant as like 985 has been a big level. 880 to 885 has, for whatever reason, just been a bit of a level as well. So that's where I'd be looking for support there. It just hasn't always been the evens with it. Like the Fed top on the last time was at 985, and then we had all kinds of support the last couple of weeks at 885 to 950. So that's where I think you might find a temporary bottom. The only long I'd look for would be off of those levels, and then maybe give it to like, down here it got to 875, so even 80 long. You got to give it to 75 if you take an 80 long on Tesla. $5 can seem like a lot of gross, but it's a $900 stock. It's really not that much. And if you're not willing to maybe eat that much of a hit, then you probably shouldn't be trading that name. We did mention Square at 120. Obviously, it didn't really get there. But look, it's still at 116. It's holding some of these levels to the upside. I still think it has a chance to shoot up and maybe give you that shot at the 120 short, but I'm not going to be chasing it down here at that 116 level. I am close to reloading on Astra. Gets back up to that 350 where I shorted it before. I'll take some shares there. I'll take some shares at 355. And firm, either you got the short off 55 like Sean does, or you're waiting for 50 to come in, which I still say feels inevitable. Like, I know it's slowly getting there, but let's keep in mind the only reason why I'm thinking a firm is boring when it's putting in like $3 or $4 ranges, and I should cancel that order and not have what happened yesterday to me, is because it went from 80 to 50. If you didn't go from 80 to 50 yesterday, you'd say it's going crazy having a $3 range top and bottom. That's 5 or 6 percentage points. I still think 50 can break, and we'll be there when it does. Brendo?
HTCR was another one that was up in the pre-market here, starting to go on volume here, guys, to day highs. This was another debut yesterday, teeny tiny little IPO. About to take out that pre-market high for HTCR.
Long all of these. What is it with these?
No, but it's just like, it just goes to that same shit that I was talking about before, man. It's like you shouldn't be allowed to IPO or come to market with like 1 million shares.
I thought there were, whatever.
Don't they have like some kind of rules
That's
there?
What I thought, but.
Yeah, well, hey, All right. Under Armour, yeah, we've already talked about that. AMD is absolutely cranking right now to the. I know you're out of it, but that's absolutely just getting murked right now to that downside.
See,
so the one stock that went,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, I got out of Affirm. Maybe no, actually, I was gonna say maybe too early, but Affirm's right there. I did want to talk about PayPal quickly. So a name that has turned from positive to negative, but just barely right now is PayPal. We're still up quite nicely on it as we took that dollar, so all good on that. But we do hold half back. This is a good spot for me to get longer again right now off this 119. Remember what we have in mind here, and just got to make sure I don't even have the order out. A 118.50. If it breaks that, then we're gone. That's it. It's that simple. 118.50 has been the bottom right there. I mean, PayPal makes me want to throw up. This is a name that was my call of 2020. It went from 100 to 250 or something in 2020. Obviously, helped out there by, I mean, it didn't go down that much during COVID. I think it went to like $80 on the March low, so we did have to hold that from 100, but then it blew up, obviously, as most stocks did from that side. But look, this is not done well in this tech wreck, right? I mean, we were $300 in the spring, or sorry, in the summer, and then now we're all the way back down here. So 118.50, if that comes out, we're gone, but we will average in one more time on the downside here.
Yeah, and so, it's at the point now, and don't get me wrong, like I like to harp on myself sometimes, but if I get out on a trailing stop, that's like an entry point. It almost seems like. So this is AMD. Now, I do like the long at some point on this thing, like I said, in front of that 122, and I would have had to get out anyways. So I definitely wouldn't have gotten more than $1 because I'd be looking to take it out at 122. But that's what happens. It puts in the curl, and maybe I should have been giving it to at least 124, maybe even a little bit further back. It just goes to show, like there's no bad way to take profit, but there's also, nothing wrong with looking back at what can be a mistake and look to learn from it. Tesla continues to churn lower at that 890, so getting close to that 880 level as we go to Brendan.
Moving here, guys, this morning, ABCL up on a deal with Eli Lilly. So they announced a joint research program with Eli Lilly. Was up more than this, was trying to hold 10, but back to the downside here for ABCL.
ABCL. Thank you so much again, guys, for the love. We have over 140 likes on the sticky note. And look at this, guys, 53 retweets. Thank you so much for that, man. Today we have Affirm, PayPal, Square. They're all on there. You can check it out at Trader TV Sean. I believe it's !Sean, or just hit pound sticky note, and you'll be able to get the sticky note as well. PayPal, okay, So here we go. Back up to the upside with PayPal. So no surprise here. We reload this one. Let's get it out if it goes back up to this 119.80 or so area. And then we'll see where we go from there. So right now, there's the reload on PayPal, and ho-hum is just 50 cents in the money. But yeah, we're expecting a little bit of more than that on this trade. I thought Aurora Cannabis reported. Why was that not on our sticky note? Oh, yeah, because maybe, or not sticky note, on our watch list. I don't think much is happening with it. That's probably why. 4 million shares done on Aurora, and this is what that is. Can we confirm that that was Aurora Cannabis? Because I feel like...
Maybe it wasn't, man.
It should be, though, because we had we had CGC.
Yeah, but there's no way Aurora would report and not be trading. It would have volume today. No?
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I thought we normally do have marijuana stocks on our watches if they're moving, but that would explain why we didn't have it, because it's not moving. But I don't know. Either they did or they didn't. But I just heard God in my ear. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, they reported, guys. There was a number of analyst moves on them as well, but was doing absolutely nothing in the pre-market, and apparently still is. Along with this one, CLF tried to go, but stalling out a little bit in front of 21, where it was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I swung and missed at CLF. By the way, Micron and the relative strength of Micron, so it just keeps on bouncing off 91. Now it's sort of barcoding off this high. As the market heads further down, and like AMD just continued to tank when I was in the short, like Micron is holding at the highs. It's just been super strong in the chip space, and now is churning towards that 95. It needs to break out, 92.80 is the current high of the day, and it needs to break that. But AMD going the other direction, I just think with the futures off those lows at 14.6, getting close to where I was bidding at that 121 area. So, this is not going to be to cover the short. This is going to be try to catch a bit of a long trade in front of 121. In front of 120 on AMD, and Tesla also screaming down to 880. Astra hasn't really done much. Got the 50 short. It got down to like 36 or something like that. I'm looking for a reload in that name. And then a firm 50 is the other trade that we want. I'm going to have to get into Micron at some point. Like, the market starts to turn, I can't see how Micron does not break out. And that's a 92.80, and then 95 is your resistance level. So I might end up being along the bottom in the AMD, and then long a breakout in Micron, as crazy as that sounds, but that's where we are.
Microsoft's at 300. Okay, Maury, we'll go over there. We'll go over there. Oh, that was the name. Oh, Gen or Gen, G-E-N. What is that? I think that's Gen. I wanted DraftKings, man. I wanted DraftKings. And before I look at the stock, I was thinking 24 long on a break. But I don't know where it is. I just want to say that was a level I was looking at on DraftKings before we look at it. So, okay, so it is right here. So this is fine. Did it already break 24 is the question. No, it did not. I like this name. I'm going to take this. DKNG. I was looking at this earlier. And this 24 is pretty spicy there. And again, I don't know if it's going to work or not. I actually feel like DraftKings, oh no, where's my 20-minute chart? I need it. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, we'll have to get that chart up in a minute, but maybe if I just hit the chart thing, we'll automatically load. Let me see. Here we go, loading. Bang, there it is, but it loads Uber, of course.
Nice.
Okay, let's just go 24 right now, and we'll just take a little bit of shares on a break, and then we'll look at it a little bit longer if we need to use more shares on this reload. But this is what we're talking about right here. 24 hit back on Feb 2, it looks like, or Feb 3. It hit up to 23.91. We tested 24 again. You know what? This is, oh, there we go. We should be long now. Yeah, okay, so now we're long. This is a play, and again, I kind of feel like this is a little bit of a Super Bowl play, but at the same time, you know, it's working well. Some of the ARC names are back up now. TDOC is back to 75 or something like that. A UiPath is back. Tesla, we've talked about that. That's different. Bitcoin. So I just feel like some of these names here that have been beat down. I don't know why I threw Bitcoin in there. I was just thinking Kathy Wood. But on some of these names that have been beat down on the value side of things as opposed to growth, growth has been what's been getting killed. So there we go. We will take DraftKings long right now on a 24 break. So shout out to you guys. That was a name that I was looking at and I completely forgot about it. But I'm glad that we had 24 in our mind there because there it is on a nice little break to the upside. Hey, you know what? Why the hell not? Let's just take it out. Let's not out, a third of it out, because there we go. We're smoking again today. We just take this trade. And there it is, bang, add it in, man. All we're really doing, guys, right now is stacking that cash. So let's do that. We'll do the stacking cash and then we'll throw it to Brendan, okay? There's the stacking cash right now because there's DraftKings upside, and still going. We may just take out another piece here at 25 and then see where we go from there. PayPal rocking, Ford rocking, DraftKings rocking, and so is Brendan at the big screen. Let's kill it.
Hey guys, bit of a quiet morning so far for small cap stocks. We were mentioning KVL just before the open. Doesn't get much easier. I talked about $2. You could have risked 10 cents. It goes to $2.95. So I said there's room if you go to the daily chart to 3. It goes to $2.95. Starts to come off, holding $2.50 right now. So pretty easy long off the open there for KAVL. DCFC, the presidential trade back in effect today, but to the downside, gave you a break of that 1440, 1425 area that was holding as support in the pre-market. It's been doing nothing but going straight down. That was a pretty quick $1.50 to the downside off the open. And not a small cap, but Zillow was a very similar trade once it got below 55, which was support in the pre-market there, grinding along 53.5 for Zed. Guys, back over to you.
And the market bouncing a little bit worse, basically seconds away from Micron taking out the high of the day. So, like I said, markets off of the bottoms, Micron breaking its high and being relatively strong. So you can't ignore relative strength like this. And we talked about this one yesterday. And look, I'm not sitting here saying they're the best chip maker. It's just they've been trading the best price action. And then the point was, this is 95 here yesterday. We got up to that price before turning around. So the break gives you room to this. And then, of course, on the daily, you've got 98s up there. So I do like this break. We're going to get it any second now. Someone asked if am I taking Tesla just yet? You know, I talked about where we liked it. Oh, goodness. It's that NZ thing. You typed it wrong one time. We talked about where we liked it. I'm just going to do this for you guys and show you the chart I actually look at. We talked about it liking it a little bit closer to 8, that 880 level. And this is my 3-minute chart, so I'll quickly flip it to like a 15. And it was more like 880, 875, the support. It's got to actually come to the price that I like. So it's still falling in my estimation. Getting it early here, nah, I'd rather be picking it up when it tries to bounce off of 880 or so. So that's a look for in Tesla. It's just a little bit early for me. I'd rather find something a little bit relatively stronger, and that's going to be the breakout in Micron, or we're very close to getting the bid on AMD as well.
Yeah, we're just sit back, relax right now, guys, as we're just letting these work. And wow, look at Microsoft. Someone brought that to our attention. I was like, wow, Microsoft 300. I didn't even really believe it. But now that I look at it, it's only down 1%. It's just I keep forgetting like the moves that some of these stocks had yesterday into the close. Like Microsoft was 304, 305, and then it just like tanked there into the close basically. And then I mean this is today there, but you saw yesterday's move. Microsoft here stopped at this is yesterday's close, so 301.50. So no surprise that we're down here already. We started off with a nice high note on Softy today, and then just absolutely crashed down. But did you guys see DraftKings, by the way, right now? This name, there's one take. And then out a third, and now we fly high. As we do here, Jim Jones, we fly high, no lie. And you know this, guys, balling. So right
or
there.
remix.
Yeah, or you could do a remix there and get that going. But we can't say
remix.
ballin' and then not this. I mean, this literally says. But I think ballin' is like not apostrophe N. I think there's an I-N there for ballin'.
I don't know that there's a correct way. Although
we have to go to
Urban Dictionary is usually going to provide you with that answer, as we already know.
Expert there on Urban Dictionary. Maybe I'll just get out now. We were waiting at 70. I didn't even notice this, but the 50 period is right here on PayPal. So, I mean, let's just go. Just give me 70 now as we talk about it. Let's go PayPal. Where's my 70? Where's my 70? Are we going to get 70s? What am I even at right now? Oh, I'm at 71. Oh, come on. It stopped there at 70. Let's cancel that and then just offer right now. I mean, I don't give a crap. Just run me over if you want. Take it out at 64. Bang! There it is again. Another one for you. The fruit salad is done down the gullet, but there it goes. PayPal with another one for you right there. So happy so far today. Hopefully we can continue and make that cash for you guys here live on the show. Let's go.
Yeah, and Micron makes that break. So someone just asked in the chat, they're like, what do you think about NVIDIA? Do you think it's a buy? I'll look at it in a quick second, but I will give you this at least. AMD just turned off it got to 121. Oh my goodness, like 121.41. So missed me by just maybe like 20 or 30 cents. And that bounced $1. Micron is breaking out. I'm going to get first target pretty quickly here. And then NVIDIA, I would assume, again, I have not looked at it because these are the two names I picked in the chip space that I wanted to trade today were going to be Micron and going to be AMD. NVIDIA, this chart doesn't want to load. So this is, apologies, guys. Every time I type a new symbol, this time I did type in NQ. It's not even the NZ problem. But Micron is still above 250. That would have been the level I would look at for support. If it had a consolidation, then I think that would be a reasonable out. But I might not be able to show you on the chart.
Cancel, replace, off. Okay. I'm going to cancel my Zillow. I was down there at 52 and I didn't get it, so I'll wait to see what's going on. Uber will accept crypto at some point. So let's have a quick look at that one, and then we'll go over to Brendan. That's probably the news that he has. What's up, Brendan?
What I was going to mention, guys, there was a volume spike on that note. Comments flying around about Uber accepting cryptocurrencies.
PayPal here today. Look at that. Look at this. Bang, 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 bang. Now let's see where PayPal goes from here, man. Hopefully to the upside. We're $1 in the money on PayPal. We're 30 cents in the money. Look at this Ford trade. 30 cents in the money. You might have heard me under my breath. I got out of too many shares there. So there it goes, ripping to the upside right now as Ford continues to go and just like take out the top side there. So good trade here on Ford, hopefully anyways. DraftKings still motoring days high as well. This is why we're sit back. Thank you, Ann, as well on the chat. That was very, very kind words. And, not only we're trying to trade here and put real capital to work, but we're also trying to entertain. So I hope you are entertained. If you are, then I know I'm doing a good job. And hopefully we're also doing a good job with some of the information that we're giving you, the watch list, the sticky note, and some of these trade ideas. That's the purpose. That's why we built tradertv.live. And, I'm just glad that you guys are all here with us every single day. My only problem is we don't have enough likes today, so you got to hit the like button. And if you don't hit the like button, then why not hit the share button? So hit the share button and put that on your Twitter. If I see that, I'll retweet it for you. But maybe not right now. I'm too busy, but definitely do that. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, some of the banks going upside today, counter the market. But the S&P just turned green, so that makes sense.
Yeah, we're catching a bid. So, I mean, even the NASDAQ's catching a bit of bid. Like I said, I chose MU. That was just going to be the one, so I'm not looking any gift horses in the mouth. On the way to this breakout, you got to look at this last cluster, 93.50 being a top. It just put a bit of a curl there, so I did take some out. I'll look to see if I can get out the rest at 95. 95 is like its own break, right? If it takes out 95, that's a break on the daily up to that 98 to 100 anyways. So I think we can be looking at two separate trades there. What I really wanted was thinking it would go all the way down to 90, but it was so strong, Micron, relatively, that it held 91 all morning long. Brendan, what's up, bud?
YUMC, I believe it was yesterday they reported, but 2 days in a row here, you can see no action in the pre-market, but straight to the upside since 6% here for Yum China.
All right. Thanks to Phil, by the way. I was just thinking about when he sent me 4,000 sticky notes. So thank you to Phil as well for that. What's up to Phil? Phil McCracken, I believe, there. I'm not sure if he's in the chat today, but thank you for that. Amazon Phil on Twitter. Amazon Phil sent me 4,000 sticky notes from Amazon. So
I would assume from Amazon.
Yeah, I don't think he works there, but I assume it's from Amazon.
It'd be a weird name if you didn't use Amazon.
Yeah. And if you're invested in Amazon, maybe so far so good. Okay, DraftKings. I mean, I'm just trying to find some names here that may or may not work. So what happened with GT? Okay, we'll look at that. Look at AMC, sure. I mean, there's so many things for me to look at right now. PayPal, $1 in the money. Ford rocking today's high. We should have got out some of there. Let's just look at Ford quickly for you. We will look at AMC. I know I'm not in it yet today. I should be. Yeah, that's not a bad level right here. If we can get out Ford, like it blew up there yesterday to 1860. What's the market doing right now? The market is red. Yeah. I mean, into Friday. Yeah. You know what? I don't know if the market rallies too much past even where we are right now, but I think we can get green, but we'll see. 1850 here right now. And if we had that crystal ball, Neil, then, perhaps we both wouldn't be here, but maybe we would be. 1840, 1850 right here. We're here because we love the markets. And
Let's
we love
be
what
real.
We're doing. So,
you always say that, but you know you would be anyways, right?
I probably would be here, but honestly, I don't know, man. A crystal ball, that's like unlimited money. So I don't know if I would be here, but I love the trade, so I may be here. I may be trading at home. But,
you can do that.
We love the people. I can't be the people's trader and say I'd give up, right? So we're still here for you guys right now. But if you do have that crystal ball, send it to us here at tradertv.live, and then you'll see some calls.
Yeah, and watch out for this that Cavill. I still like it. Brendan had the long side of the trade when it failed at $3. I said I was looking for a short. It still hasn't given you any kind of a pop back up to 280, but you had a bit of a failure at 250. So the sellers sort of winning out at that 250 level does have me want to look at VWAP here. You can give it to like a 270 on and out. I am looking for a reload in Micron. I'm going to tempt fate by, look at that. I flipped and it worked. So Micron came right back to the breakout price. Great if it just wants to continue going, but keeping in mind that the pre-market high, like that 92 where it broke, and then sort of made that previous high at 92.80 that we just took the breakout on, the last dip came right back to that 92 level. So I do feel pretty confident that if we get down there, as long as the market isn't absolutely tanking, I'd look to get a reload in Micron at that price. Otherwise, I'm just holding this out for 95 even. That's going to be the entry point. I'm glad we got Micron because we didn't ever get that AMD long. And I'll show you guys here. I'm actually canceling my bid. And this is the thing about when you throw in like stink bids or bids in case it falls really far. To me, when it comes down there and misses me by 30 cents, and you're looking to catch that level off the falling sword, and then it makes any kind of a decent bounce, I don't want it to, there's no way I'd want it 30 cents lower than the current low when it's already made a bit of a bounce. At this point, I'd almost want it to press lower than that, catch it closer to 120 even, because I ended up missing it the first time. And you chase that exact same level, and it's pressing down again and continuing that trend. If you did that, let's say you did it here at 124 and you were bidding at 123.50. Well, if you took that the second time, then you're holding $1 against you. And it's the same thing if you missed this long down here by 122.5, well, then it goes $1.50 against you. So you're always repricing those. You get it right the first time, great. But if you don't, then you should always reevaluate. Brendo?
YMAB, a little therapeutic company, just popping up through $8 here on decent volume, guys. They resubmitted a new drug application to the FDA today after some requests for changes. So big rally for YMAB.
I think I left my pen in the kitchen there. I don't know where it is. I like to have it. But, okay, here we go. New position alert. You might have heard that. What's up, Henry? What up, gangsta? There we are. We're in Palantir. Let's go. Spin it, spin it. So far, so good here on Palantir. We take a long break of 80. There we go to the upside right now, taking out 85, 86, 87. Where do we go for Palantir? Nobody knows. So we will find it out. But look what else is happening right now. boy, are we on one. We feel like we're in a little psychedelic zone right here. I mean, can we miss? Maybe we can, but not with DraftKings today. We are 70 cents now in the money on, 65 cents now in the money on DraftKings on this 24 take. Bang, 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 bang. Good trade there for DraftKings. Let's see if we can hold out hope for that one. $1.13 now. Sorry, my bad. $1.30 in the money as we're wearing Raptor gear, but we'll shout out the Maple Leafs that are just as hot of a team right now as there goes PayPal. Look at PayPal now. Rip, rip, rip to PayPal. Ford, the highest spot it's been at all day. We like you a lot. And then let's just check back on our Affirm trade. Oh, hell yeah. This is how you know things are going good, man. We're one trade in on Affirm. We have the top and we have the bottom. So the top and the bottom of this trade, we have it. So that's how you know things are going good for your boy here today. Let's just keep the momentum going to the upside. The only stock that we need to worry about is Palantir because it's a recent trade. And the thing is that we took it, we broke through the 50 period here on the NASDAQ. We also are well above it right here. So my out is back into here. If this fails, then we will take this 12, 13 cent hit on Palantir. But with that being said, it needs to go higher. We just took some out, like very, very little out there, like 15%, not even, 84 and 85. So yeah, if the market fails, watch out for Palantir, guys. We do have our out down here, and I think I put 67 or 68, but that's going to be the out back in here. So if it fails, that's what's good on PLTR, but we are going to wait for that to come in, and hopefully we're able to cash out on that. Man, PayPal just ripped up. Let's put an offer on PayPal. If we can just get this, like boom, 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 we should have took that out. That's a couple times we've touched this 120.50. We should have been out of PayPal there. So let's put an offer there. Hopefully the gods will help us out on this one because I feel like the market just had a chance to go and didn't right there. So that's a problem. You also have that wick high right there. I know likey there. Look at the wick high here and what that created. We have another one right here. So watch out for more downside pressure here coming on the NASDAQ. So that's just some of the analysis that I do when I look at these things. So, take it with a grain of salt, but if anything, at least learn from what I'm thinking. And if it's wrong, it's wrong, but at least we're on the same page there.
Yeah, and like the market making, like you said, like the ES trying to get back below 4,500 there. And I was just looking for one of the names that I did like to short off the top, and that was Block to see where it was hanging out. And it's still bouncing off 115. So it looks like that's nowhere near that range that I like that short trade. One that is, that I am going to try to get more shares of is Astra. It got close to that 345 once again. So it looks like if it's going to consolidate down here, why even wait for 350? This stock has really shown no signs of wanting to come back up. And I can always just say to myself, well, if I get back in at 44, the shares I get in, I can have a 2-cent stop. The stock's done 10 million shares worth of volume. I think we can definitely, sort of just stay with the trend. Affirm, look, I think one of the things you got to be at least a bit patient with is trading inside of these ranges. I mean, the fact that Affirm is going to be down 10% and find a bid, it's a little bit surprising to me when the market tried to roll over, but it had a lot to digest. I don't think the story is done with the firm. It's still, I'd like to say it's still looking relatively weak, just because a lot of times when you either catch a dead cat bounce like this, if the stock has a flush like this and can't break down through the lows, it's likely to come back up and break out from what I usually see, and that hasn't happened in this case. So I still think it's relatively weak. Micron has not given the reload. It never really came back down to be able to get that reload in front of VWAP there. So it's just still in the midst of that breakout. There's really nothing to do here in Micron. I'm just sitting around waiting for it to get to break back out, get to 95. Maybe it requires the futures to do that, but we can be patient with it. It's working now. Wish we didn't have that misstep on Cliffs. And what should have happened is that same setup, Cliffs and Under Armour were the same setup. I only had one, and that was a big mistake for me. Just got some more shares of Astra. I'll get some out in front of the low of the day and see if I can't hold the 3/4.
All right. Yeah, not much, man. I'm just looking at these stocks, trying to make. Ooh, look at this. What's up, Goldman? If you're here, and what's up to anybody that's been trailing some of my calls? Win has been a good one, man. We've been buying this one at $80 every time it comes down there, and look at Win today, 95. So a nice move upside for Win in the last couple of days. Boom, boom, boom. These are those 80 levels. Obviously you could see that this is an area that I like. We talked about why we like this name. The value of the company is just $8-9 billion. It should be a little bit higher in my opinion, but hey, what do I know? I've been to the casino. It's obviously lovely. And then they got the news from Macau as well, being a little more friendly to investors now. So I like that play. We've liked Win for a long time. We're just bringing it up because I saw it today up 2%. So a nice name up in a weak market. today for sure. One name, okay, so here we go. Just an update. Here goes Palantir again. We'll see if this one wants to go upside. I don't even have an offer, but maybe I should put something out here on PLTR. We're up to 86. Yeah, we'll take an 86 if it comes back up there. So that's that. We're out of a little bit of it. We still think we can go higher, obviously. You could see we're starting to move upside, so we're changing our stops as well. Back down here to 1370. So from 68, 69 up to 70. So it's not a big change, but again, take advantage of some of these bump ups. I thought I was sitting on PayPal. Am I not? 120.30 we were sitting at there on PayPal. I'm going to cancel this. I'm just going to let this ride, man. You know, if it wants to go up, we're $1 plus in the money on PayPal. We've really done quite well on it today and yesterday and pretty much all week. So let's just hold it. We are on one today again. So let's see if that can hold. Update on DraftKings. That was what it was. Update on DraftKings stop. We already had the vitamin today as well. Okay, so what we're looking at, DraftKings, right? So 24 flat. So right there, we're going to get out. We're in at 24 flat. If it goes back up to the upside, obviously we want to have some on for that explosion. The same reason why we're holding Palantir, the same reason why we're holding PayPal. But you could see a nice little move to the upside right now for DraftKings. Our out is right back in here, 24. Let it work. We've already taken profits out. Obviously, this one can't be a red day for us, or a red stock. Won't be a red day, that's for sure. We only have one stock that we're red on, and that's AMD. And we're actually really lucky to get out. Not lucky. I mean, we planned to get out. In. This was good because look at this long. But we go red on the day because it takes out this 123.50. So cash some out could have been 5 times worse if we don't get, how many outs do we have? 5? Yeah. Could have been like, not 5 times, but double the pain to the downside. But we did get out of that one, and good trade for there. Let's see if the NASDAQ can hold up upside. Miss V is back on Monday, and we're getting ready. Only 20 minutes to go back to Arun and Trader Prep.
Yeah, which should be a good one. It has been all week, and shout out to Arun for doing a great job, especially filling in when Trader Pratt had to miss a couple of days. Okay, so Uber is taking crypto payments. That's great. That's nice. What's actually more interesting, I think
it was might be taking.
Might be.
Yeah.
I mean,
the quote, Neil, at some point.
At some point? Oh, okay. Wow.
Amazing, eh?
Really?
Wow, at some point they're going to take the next, the currency that everybody's going to use.
At some point, everyone's going to, that's kind of a nonsense headline. So it has bounced here. What I think makes more sense is that there's multi-day support at 36.5 to 37, and it's bouncing off that level anyways, and you had that catalyst and the market turned a bit. So either way, the only thing I care about is now that we've established on the multi-day level on the chart, it's worth it only at that price. So if it comes back down here to about 36.80, you'll probably see me on the bid. Maybe it doesn't happen in the next 20 minutes, so it might be a midday show kind of thing, and we'll pop back in and see if we can't revisit this trade. If it does want to come back down, I'll be on the bid in front of it. I finally got into Cavill. It only took till 10:40 to get into Cavill. This is off of VWAP here. Just want to see if we can play it to about that 270 level. And the reason I would stop out at 270 is not because I don't think the short would be a good one. It's just that after that point, I think the next level is $3, and that's what I want to short off of. So I'd stop out at about 270 on this, give it about 10 cents or so, maybe a couple of points extra for slippage, and then work it off of 3 even. Micron, again, we're just sort of hanging on to this. The target's going to be that 95. It's now really starting to go. And keep in mind, it's not as if, I'm not going to tell you why Micron has been relatively strong the last couple of days compared to the other chip makers. It just is. So that's why we went over to it today. I didn't trade it a single day during this entire run. But guess what? When the market found a bottom, Micron was breaking out. So that's what we went to. We knew it was relatively strong. That's why I was looking at it instead of NVIDIA for some long trades. And again, this is why I'm looking at 95 as that top, just yesterday's high. It's been a fun morning, and there's lots moving. Not too much red on that board, which is good to see, despite the fact the market's flat. Let's go see Sector Watch with Brendan. It's weird.
Yeah, overall S&P definitely in positive territory. Not huge moves to tell you about, but 0.18. So, hey, we'll take it in positive territory. This is the energy group right here. The entire thing in positive territory. Oil up nearly 1.75% at one point this morning. A lot of strength coming from banks as well. Again today, 2 days in a row, coming off that inflation number and higher interest rates, obviously. So banks are strong. Insurance companies as well to the upside. MCO was an earnings name. To the downside, down here, I wanted to point out utility stocks. It's been a couple of days in negative territory for them. So back to the upside. Consumer discretionary names, big moves in this group. NWL to the upside, 11.3%, and then Under Armour, UA and UAA, about 10% to the downside. So huge move right out of the gate, straight down. It was about $1.50 or $2. Give you a pretty good trade opportunity. Best Buy over here having a good day. Back higher. Amazon down 1% today. Chip makers, MPWR reported 10%, but everything else struggling outside of Micron. Again today, it's been strong all week. Software names and hardware names as well. Bit choppy so far, but tech stocks are overall positive, as is the S&P, 0.17, guys. Back over to you.
Okay, so just to thank you, Brendan, for that update. Yeah, interesting to see that board. A lot of green on there. Neil noted that Under Armour is on there twice as a red because
I know it's like
UA and UAA, so a little misleading for that. But
it can seem much worse than it is, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you look at that board, but I mean. I think if you're looking, there's a lot of names today. Like almost all the names on my list are all green today. Sorry, some of the notable red ones: UAA, as we just talked about it. Peloton down to 36 again. That's something to look at. Nvidia, AMD, Shopify. Yuck, I bought that too. That's hasn't been good in the dip. Facebook is red down to 225. We haven't even looked at that today, actually. Facebook. But okay, so let's just keep going here.
Interesting to me, but yeah.
Palantir. Okay, so it's still at the high side. We've just been cashing out a little bit more than I want to, but it's having a problem here at 90. So I do realize it's only at 10 cents in the money, but our out has moved up now to 75. So Palantir, a good trade for me today. It's just, this is how I trade it. Scalp it out. We just got a 91 fill there too. So on those EdgeX trades right there. So watch out for this to go upside now. We'll test 14. I don't have any more offers now. We're out of exactly half of Palantir. We're out now. So good move up. I said that, when you're long at 80 and your stop is now 75, you're laughing because you're in the money 11 cents, right? And so let it work, let it go to the upside. The one name for me, and I don't know, we should have a segment that's, maybe we'll do this actually, frustrated stock of the day.
Under Armour.
Exactly. I think this is good, man. We're coming up with more content for you.
Under Armour.
Frustrated stock of the day. So Neil's will be Under Armour.
Not even close.
And mine will be PayPal. And why? Because it's just not moving. And again, you could be frustrated because of a lot of reasons. So maybe this is a segment. Maybe we'll have it on our rundown. Frustrated stock of the day because
look at the short Under Armour. How did I not have this trade? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
instead,
no,
I had this one. Like this is the one I had. Cliffs, which it's not an entirely different setup, but I end up getting Cliffs in two shots, but essentially at that consolidation down here, and it stops out, but it's a very similar setup. It was gapping down, it had the bad earnings, you had a nice consolidation to work off of, so you kind of knew where your out was going to be, and then I just don't, I wait till, and this was the problem, I kind of said this, I wasn't really, I was in it in a pre-market off of size and not willing to get back in on this level, and if I do that, at least in one of them, then, at 9:30, when the trade comes in on Under Armour, you saw at 9:30 I was getting into Cliffs and working into that one while we were having some data issues, but these were both fine. If I was sitting in this, it would have been no problems. There wasn't a lot of volume. That's the only reason. I could have maybe looked at it at 19 at that point, as at the exact moment I was getting more shares of Cliff. And, maybe if you have some automated trading, you can definitely do both at the same time. But again, it's not to make excuses. Tell you guys exactly what happened. The opportunity cost of doing and looking at multiple names is going to be that. Speaking of multiple names, Micron, which is the other chip name I'm in, pulling back a little bit here, but when looking to get that last at 95, I've already scalped some out. To me, you got to be able to give it a little bit more room here to work because the market's still going sideways. And if there's a chance we go up, Micron has to be a part of that as strong as it's been. AMD is retesting these lows. At the same time, if it breaks the low, I'm still liking that 120 area for support and catching some shares around that 121. But I did move my bid because it was like 20 cents below or the current low of the day. No need to be tight to that bottom. It either bounces in front of it and you can take a long in front of this current low, or it breaks it and then you'll get closer to 120 even.
Oh man, I think I'm going to regret this. We just got out of PayPal there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to regret this, but frustrated stock of the day continues here. So there it is. We took it out at 120.07 there, 06. Just afraid that, the market took this down, and it's not afraid. Not afraid. I held this for literally an hour, but it's just, if we fail up and whatever. I'm going to regret this. You guys watch. Come back at 2 o'clock and you'll see where PayPal is. But again, just trying to be smart here. We are trying to hold things a little bit longer. We have Palantir, we have Ford, we have DraftKings. They're all rocking. And again, just PayPal wasn't sure what was going on here. It just doesn't want to break. We should have waited for top here, 26, but really that's 20 cents more. Like this is $1. This right here is 119.09. That's 120.09. So that's, 120.07. That's $1 right there. So we make $1 on the first trade, another 70 cents on this trade, half. Then we finish that trade off with $1. But now I'm pissed off because now it's going to the upside. So whatever. See you later on that one. DraftKings, see, frustrated stock of the day. Okay, so DraftKings right there, looking like it wants to take out the top. We're going to hold this one. I'm not going to change my mind and be like, oh, it's struggling, so let's get out. We're still going to use the same thing here, 24.20 now on DraftKings. So if that comes back in, we'll get out of that. And if I keep looking at PayPal, I'm going to be sick, so I'm going to change it off my
you can
screen.
stop looking at it.
Nah, it's still only
I know, you got to look at it. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. We've talked about that, about how much we hate that saying, but
it's true.
It is what it is, and that's right. And you just got to, and I think that's an important point about us here on the show, Neil, is that we make decisions based on, statistical things that we think make sense, statistical anomalies, or we play momentum, or we play what we've seen in our experiences, things like that. And I think that's what you got to do. And I'm not, if PayPal is struggling at a certain level, I'm just going to get it out. And that's what that was. So I'm not going to look Neil's gift horse in the mouth.
Speaking of those.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not on the page. Never mind.
Oh, no.
I'll hit this one because I haven't hit it today, but you did. Miss V's coming back. You'll get to see her. But Cavill got back up to that, 265. I got more shares in. It came back down to 55, and I did tell you guys, every 10 cents on a stock like this, that's where you want to be taking some profit, whether it's Cavill, whether it's Astro, when it's in that pocket. We'll scalp a portion, especially because, hey, guess what? Since it's breakout, it's held 235 here. This is be about 240, 245 as well. So there is a chance it breaks back out, and because I like the re-entry on a short at about 3 even, I want to make sure I'm taking some profit in here, right? If I was short in front of 3, I might give more of the position down towards VWAP for 20, 30 cents, that 5 to 10% target range. But this is a different trade in here. It's a tighter stop, I think, and it's probably going to be, not looking for as big of a home run. It could still break down at 37s, and I'd want to have something on board if it did, but it doesn't mean that I have to be too, I guess stubborn would be the word there. Micron, like I said, nothing much to do. AMD looks like, there it is. Yeah, Micron. Okay, Micron's still in the money, but 80 cents or so now that's pulling back. But AMD is now broken low of the day. I should show you guys the 15-minute chart. So this is what we're looking at. Like this is about 118 to 120 for support. So obviously I should have hung on to the short. I can't really do anything about that now. I can only think about where does it actually turn around. The NASDAQ is not exactly falling like a rock. So AMD pulling back in here just sort of feels like it's a little bit overdone. And if it tries to put any bottom in and around 120, I don't think you're wrong until 118.50, 119. So at some level, you've got to be willing to give up $1 or $2 on that trade. So I'd like to see any first consolidation close to this price is where I'd be getting back into it. I'm sure Arun will have a few words to say about me using a trailing stop, given the fact that we just had this conversation yesterday, and he said why I shouldn't have trailed out. I'm sure he'd say the exact same thing about this 123, but it is what it is, and I'm only saying that because now I have to say it 20 more times before the end of the show.
Yeah, so something huge is happening on Sunday. My kid's second week of curling, so we're really excited about that. Your boy will be
I'm sure it's
there.
before the
yeah,
game.
It's 8:30.
Oh, curling's early, dude.
Like how much? Well, no, I mean it's just because of the ice time. It's supposed to be at 12:30, but curling is 8:30 a.m. So that you're a dedicated. Well, I mean a lot of you guys dedicated fathers, but
I've actually always wanted to curl.
Yeah, curling's a lot of fun, but I haven't done it since high school. So I actually, it doesn't matter. Team Canada, that John Morris, Neil knows him as well, but he did go to Laurier, and I did curl with that guy, and he has Olympic medal, and I'm a host of Trader TV Live. Okay.
But that said, the only thing I watched in this Olympics, I usually am all about the Olympics.
I don't like that doubles, though.
But I actually did watch because Aaron, I flipped past it, and Aaron was like, my daughter, she's like, ooh, this looks interesting, Daddy. Stopped there. I'm like, really? Yeah. And so we watched them.
My kids
lose, obviously, but anyways.
Yeah, like my 10-year-old loves chess and stuff like that, so he feels like curling is like the same thing, except for there's the skill of throwing it 100 feet down the ice. But anyways,
Bear
yeah,
likes
so he
chess,
does,
eh?
Yeah,
I got a 4-player chessboard. That's all. I'm just gonna throw that one out.
Okay, yeah, he loves chess, man. He actually has like these online things that he does, and he actually deals with Baxter a little bit too, and Baxter's really good at chess. So, I did want to give a big shout out to Marissa last night. I was telling you guys, we went out and got the Amber beer. She made this sweet like braised chicken in like with beer, snap peas, carrots.
For the love of God, dude. We haven't even
peas.
It's 11 o'clock.
Little sweet onions. Ooh-wee. That was good. So, okay, market falling down right now, obviously, as we can see.
You can't do that to me at this time of day.
You can see here, we did take another shot on Palantir. I thought I got out of everything on Palantir, but I guess I didn't. But it did break that level, so let's get out of the rest of these as the market is coming back down.
Yeah, this market's starting to fall. The good thing about finding relative strength is like this is what Micron is doing as the market curls here. And once again, like it's right at that top. I see everything else breaking down. I go back over to AMD. It's still kind of trying to test those lows. Tesla as well. It's down. It got to 885, so it's starting to get into that range. I mean, we talked about this 880, 875 down there. So it's in the pocket. It hasn't even broken 85 yet. So I don't think you jam into a long just yet. And look, when I was asked whether I was going to get into the Tesla long, it was back here, and I said, I think it's a little bit early. If you took that trade and maybe had 85 as your stop, then that was risking 3 and you got 10. So like everything we say, that's just what we see in the market. If you took that same long, like don't rely on me to say it. If you liked 85 as your bottom and you took the trade, congratulations. That's 3-1. I think you actually made a good trade there as long as 85 was your stop. I just wasn't sure you're wrong until either 80 or 75 breaks. So that's a bit early for me to want to jump into Tesla. But it is what it is, like we say, and I'm going to say it a couple more times. I'll get it in there just to annoy people, because I think it's now amusing. We don't really say it that often, I don't think. But Cavill,
we don't.
Cavill now still holding the top end of this range. These small caps do not give a rat's what the market is doing. So if it breaks 70, I'm out. I did get some out for the scalp trade. I'm on the bid at 245, and I am looking to revisit this trade back at $3 if it gets there. The other name we're looking for to get long at the bottom, you might have seen, you can't because it's on the P&L. Uber just popped in. So in front of that low of the day on Uber, the reason I like this one is this is the level of support on the 15-minute chart. You can see all week long, actually even going into, all week long, not really last week, this 36.5 to 37 area has been good support. So the low of the day is 36.58. My out will be at the half, give it a few points below there. Otherwise, let's see if we can't catch a bit of a bounce. If we're going to be in a range in the market, find something with strong support. Uber does. I probably don't care too much about that blockchain thing. If it helps the stock, great today. Otherwise, really just trading off of this 36.5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up the show. So just in case you guys aren't able to join us, we haven't prepared it yet. So I'm going to put we're both going to write down some props that we like for the Super Bowl.
So that's easy to do.
Yeah. No, but just if people don't join us, maybe. So I'll give you one. I'll give you one. Yeah, well, you said, what did he bet on, though? 500,000 on Rams? Okay.
The cover?
Yeah, I don't know. Was it money line? I don't know if Pratt knows what that means, but we'll figure that out after. But yeah, Drake is all over it. So we'll get their opinions. But so as a straight, I'm not really decided. I do have Bengals plus 4.5, but like I'm not like invested in it yet. I put a bet down, but I'm not sure. I like your guy there, and we talked about this before. T. Higgins. I like his overs. So
how you gonna T? That's my dog, man.
Yeah, I know, but I like him in a prop bet,
yeah.
As I think Ramsey will be covering, obviously, Jamar Chase, I think, and it could open up some opportunities for T. Higgins. I
think that's a mistake if they do it.
I'm going to find out the numbers. I think it's like 68.5 yards or something for T. Higgins on the over for that.
If you're the Rams,
sacks over 5.5 total game.
I would agree. Rams, if you're listening, you should have Ramsey one-on-one with Higgins and bracket Chase, not the other way around. Huge mistake if you do it the other way.
I don't know why.
Just because if you bracket Chase, like it's his catch and run, right? Like he's going to get the ball sometimes, he's going to drop it sometimes, but you do not want him getting second level. So if you give safety help to him, I just think it makes a heck of a lot more sense. And then body up Chase when Ramsey's a bigger guy. Sorry, body up Higgins when Ramsey's a bigger dude. You can tell I like football a little bit. Maybe college more, but either way. We're going to have a lot of fun in the afternoon segment. New position was Uber for me. So I found myself weirdly at 11 o'clock in more positions than I had at the open. It's just a function of the market. One of the things I said this morning, someone asked, what am I looking at the most? And I said, the first thing I was watching today was a firm, but it's levels and setups. The market's going to decide what you get into, right? So you only take the trades that are there for you. 2 longs, 2 shorts, but my shorts are in small cap trades. That Astra is still holding that 350 level. Not too many fireworks there. Kind of a bad pun to say when they just had a thing blow up. But anyways, no one lost any of their lives. But a setback for Astra. You are seeing it get back to VWAP, so I did get some more shares in front. Still bidding all the way down to that quarter. That was a halt bottom. And then the current low of the day is 335. I got some bids out in front of that. It has to break back above 350 for me to get out. And even then, I think I'd short it again in front of 360. If it breaks 360, it's probably breaking out. And there goes MU, Micron. Still through highs of the day. Like, Micron is crazy strong, man.
Yeah, I'm like holding shorts here. And yeah, your Micron. I mean, I should have. You identified that yesterday.
Yeah, but I should have had it at 91. Like, it's just should have been more aggressive with this stock because I don't know why it's so strong. I actually don't know why relatively it's so strong. I don't love it more than any of these other names out there. AMD's look, it's valuation-wise, it's probably a little bit better, and that could be a little bit of the story as I think about it out loud. Only 2 minutes to go. This day has gone by super, super fast.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, so, all right, just quickly here, just so you guys realize what I was doing right there. So we got out of Palantir, but then the market is now below the 50 period, and it's just touching VWAP, so we actually wind up going short. It may go out, but look, we just cashed out of 3/4 of this short down here near 72. So we go long, it comes back, cracks back down. We get out down here on a break of 75. We talked about that. That sucks because we were long 81s, right? So the break down there at 75 is 6 cents out. So it obviously still up here was good, but breaking back down. Now we'll see if it wants to, continue to make a move down. But we are understanding that 72 does have VWAP there. So that's a trade to look at here. Apparently, I guess
that's true. Oh no, I'm sorry.
What, the Drake thing?
No, Mike just said something about Nancy Pelosi getting into Micron. That can't really be why it.
Nancy Pelosi.
That's real.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, she's into a lot of stocks, so I don't think that has anything to do with that. Like she knows more about Micron than anybody else. Okay.
Well, maybe.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously the market's not rigged though. But okay, let's go. Who knows? I don't. Nancy Pelosi. If Nancy Pelosi could please get into DraftKings now, then maybe that'd be good. Or if Nancy Pelosi wants to drive a Ford Mustang, maybe she can get the Mach-E, and then we'll be going to the upside on Ford as well. So I don't know. Let's see where we go. But yeah, let's just buy.
I'm gonna let this.
Isn't there websites for Pelosi? I believe there is.
I'm not even getting into it. Whatever. That's one of those.
So funny. What were you?
With 1 minute to go, it is what it is.
It is what it is. There you go. Yeah. We need an is what it is counter, maybe. Oh, Nancy's husband is the GOAT, so I don't really know.
Well, that's
who
actually gets the shares, right?
I don't really know this story.
It's so much better, right?
Okay, let's just go, man. Only 30 seconds left. Obviously, no earnings to cover. That's true. But it should be a great weekend of football and everything else. So hopefully, spend it with your family. That's obviously the most important. As here we go, Palantir is coming to the downside. There it is. So a crack lower. So yes, sir. Looks like switching over to a short is going to be right. But yeah, great show today.
Yeah, we love it. It's been a good one. The afternoon was crazy. Remember yesterday? At this time, we were
no idea what was
unbelievable how crazy the morning had been. We had no clue we were going to get a firm bonanza. We were going to get an Uber halt. We were going to get Bullard talking. So I guarantee you there's going to be some fireworks to close out this week. And we got Trader Prad and Arun to give you the goods.
Go.
Welcome back to the last week of the show over here for Market Movers. Arun's here for us, so make sure you guys bug the crap out of him. This is our last day with him. Annoy him with every single question you have, and I for sure will because I won't be able to pick his brains anymore. So let's have fun. Let's all make some money, and let's dive into the market. Arun, what's going on with you today?
Oh man, there's been a lot happening. Today's been quite an exciting morning for me. There was a time where because I am in some futures positions, or I was in a